Okay, hi everyone. So today, Ananya ma'am and I are going to be covering the month of January. I'll give you a snapshot for this month, and then we'll get into the detailing of the current affairs news. So every month, uh, we cover important days, some important national news, some important international news, awards, defense, right, and indexes, if any. So let's just get started with what are the important days that we have to keep in mind. And then we get into detailing a little later. So just a snapshot so that what are the areas that we need to focus on. First of January is a very important day because on this day, two organizations were set up, one in 1958 and the other one in 2015, right? And then we do a little detailing about the organization, right? I hope you guys are there. If you are there, please put this in the chat box, right? If you are hearing me properly, so just keep communicating. So 1958 is Defense Research Development Organization. It was set up on the 1st of January 1958, right? The headquarters of DRDO is in New Delhi, and Samir V. Kamath is a person who heads this organization. They have a testing center, or from where they do their launches and testing, and that is called as the APJ Abdul Kalam Islands. Okay, also known as Wheeler Islands, right? Also known as Wheeler Islands. More later, we discuss about the important missiles from DRDO. Okay. Second is 2015, is the formation of NITI Aayog. Okay. Now, I want to know from you, what is a full form of NITI? NITI. Now, this is a very popular question that comes in examination, right? What is the full form of NITI? So, this replaced the 12th 12th 5-year plan. This replaced the 12th 5-year plan. Okay, this replaced the 12th 5-year plan and National Institute for Transforming India. Absolutely. National Institute for Transforming India. Their headquarters is in Delhi. Right? So this replaced the 12th 5-year plan. Right? So 12th 5-year plan started in the year 2012 and this was replaced by NITI Aayog. What we need to know here is that the chairman of NITI Aayog is the Prime Minister himself. Vice chairman is Suman Berry, right? Vice chairman is Suman Berry, and the CEO is BVR Subramaniam. BVR Subramaniam, right? So National Institution for Transforming India. National Institution for Transforming India. Remember this. NITI Aayog replaced the 12th 5-year plan. So is that clear to you? A very important organization. NITI Aayog comes up with a few indexes, right? One is the Fiscal Health Index, which should be coming anytime, and the Panchayati Raj Index, right? So you have a few indexes. You also have the Human Resource Development Index, right? So we'll keep a track of the indexes as and when it comes. Okay. The Panchayati Raj Advancement Index. The next one, after 1st of January, the important date is 9th of January. 9th of January is the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. So Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, on this day, 9 January 1915, Mahatma Gandhi returned from South Africa. Okay. So we have started celebrating this and it's a biennial event now since 2003. Earlier it was an annual event. Now it's every 2 years. So last year, the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, 18th edition took place, and now it's going to be next year. So from the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, we are also going to discuss about Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, we are also going to discuss about Mahatma Gandhi. Tanmay, we have just started 5 minutes ago. The next one, oh, it started in 2003. 2003. I thought you were asking when did the class start. The next date, which is important, so we'll do the personality mapping of Mahatma Gandhi. We learn about the Ahmedabad mill strike. We learn about the Kheda Satyagrah. We learn about the non-cooperation movement, right? We learn about the non-cooperation movement, and we learn about the civil disobedience movement, right? We learn about the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. We learn about the Quit India movement, right? So all this becomes important. Also, the books by Mahatma Gandhi, My Experiments with Truth, Harijan, and so on and so forth. So we'll discuss that in detail in today's edition. After 9th of January, it is the 12th of January. Okay? Can somebody tell me why is 12th January important? It's the National Youth Day. Absolutely. It is a National Youth Day, or the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, right? So again, one more personality becomes important for this month. After Mahatma Gandhi, it is Swami Vivekananda, right? So we'll do a little bit of personality mapping of Swami Vivekananda. Okay? So Ramakrishna Paramahansa was his mentor, his guru, and we should also know about the 1893 the World Religious Parliament that took place in Chicago. So few important things we need to know about the Ramakrishna Mission. You know, all these things we will incorporate when we are doing a personality mapping. Okay. So 12th of January. I missed one, 10th of January. Can somebody tell me what is 10th of January famous for? Can somebody tell me what is 10th of January famous for? It's to do with Hindi. It's to do with Hindi. It's the International Hindi Divas or Hindi Day. International Hindi Day or World Hindi Day. So on this day, 1975, the first international conference on Hindi took place in Nagpur. First international conference took place in Nagpur. Okay? So therefore, this day also becomes important. Okay? All right. Then the next date is 15th of January. Now, can somebody tell me why is 15th January important? Yes, absolutely. It is the Army Day. So on this day, 1949, General Cariappa became the first commander-in-chief of the Indian Army. Okay, the baton was passed from General Butcher, who was the last commander-in-chief of the British Army after independence, and he passed it on to the first Indian commander-in-chief, and that was General Cariappa. Okay, so that is why we celebrate the Army Day. Okay, at present, can you tell me what is the name of the Army Chief? What is the name of the Army Chief? Upendra Dwivedi. Absolutely, Upendra Dwivedi is the Army Chief. And can you tell me who the CDS is? Who is the CDS? The Chief of Defense Staff? Yes, Anil Chauhan is the CDS, right? And recently there is a controversy going on former chief of the army, right? There's a controversy that's going on. There was a mention of something in the book. Can you tell me what is the name of the book? Yes, absolutely, General Narwane. What is the name of the book? 4 stars with what? Complete name, Amog? 4 stars of destiny. So just remember these small points. 4 stars of destiny. Okay? So that's your Army Day. Also remember that the first 5-star general. Okay, if you look at the Army Chief of the Army Staff, he's a 4-star general. The first 5-star general from India was the first five-star general. The first five-star general was Sam Manekshaw. Absolutely. Okay. Who won us the 1971 war, which led to the liberation of Bangladesh. Okay. And General Cariappa got it posthumously. General Cariappa got it posthumously. So that's again an important day that we should keep track of. 16th of January is another date that we will do. Now, 16th of January, there are 2 days here. One is a National Startup Day, and the other one is more important, which is the Lokpal Day. Okay, so Lokpal as a topic becomes very important, right? Justice A.N. Khanwilkar is the present Lokpal, and the first Lokpal was Pinaki Ghosh. Okay, so we'll discuss about the Lokpal Act. This particular term, Lokpal, was coined by L.M. Singhvi. Okay, so it was basically the Anna Hazare movement that finally led to this particular act, right? So Lokpal becomes very, very important. Okay, we'll also look at the composition of the Lokpal. Okay, so this 16 January ho gaya. Next day that's important is 19th of January. Can somebody tell me what is 19th of January famous for? We have done this in one of the Roznamas and the weekly Hafta that we do. What is 19th of January famous for? Disaster se related hai kuch. NDRF. It is the National Disaster Relief Force Formation. NDRF ka Raising Day. Okay. So the Disaster Management Act came in the year 2005, and the following year the NDRF was raised in 2006. That's why the National Disaster Response Force becomes very important. Okay. Now, if you look at the disaster management at the national level, Prime Minister heads it. At the state level, the Chief Minister heads it. And at the district level, the District Magistrate heads it. So that's again an important day, right? 19th of January ho gaya. Next, we are coming to 23rd of January, right? 23rd of January is also called as Parakram Diwas. And we have started celebrating this day from 2021. So this is the birth anniversary of Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay? So Subhash Chandra Bose, again, we do the personality mapping of Subhash Chandra Bose. He cleared the ICS exam, trained for a year, then quit. Then he was also the president of the Indian National Congress in 1938 at Haripuri. And then the following year, 1939, he defeated Mahatma Gandhi's candidate, right? The Tripuri session. And then he left the Congress and formed the Forward Bloc, right, in 1939. And thereafter, he joined the Indian National Army, which was founded by Mohan Singh. And finally, in 1945, his plane crashed in Taiwan. So we can do a personality mapping of Subhash Chandra Bose also. Okay? So also, there are 3 islands which are named in Andaman after him: Shahid Island, Swaraj Island, right? So we will also do that. Okay. Next important day is, I'll just remove this now, is 25th of January. Can somebody tell me why is 25th of January important? Yes, it is the National Voters' Day. So 25th of January is the National Voters' Day. On this day in 1950, right, the Election Commission was formed and Sukumar Sen became the first Chief Election Commissioner. Right? And so the entire detailing about it, the Article 324 to Article 329, okay, the powers of a CEC. At present, Gyanesh Kumar is the Chief Election Commissioner, and he has 2 election commissioners with him. Earlier, there used to be just 1 CEC, but from 1989 onwards, we have 3 CEC, 1 Chief Election Commissioner and 2 election commissioners. As of now, we have Sukhbir Sandhu, right, and the other person is Vivek Joshi, right. The powers of a CEC and the other election commissioners is equivalent to that of a Supreme Court judge, right. They're appointed by the president. The removal of the 2 ECs can be done by the CEC, but the removal of CEC requires the same procedure that is required for the removal of a Supreme Court judge, right? So the topic becomes quite important. The Election Commission. The headquarters is in Delhi. It is called as Nirvachan Sadan. ठीक है? तो ये तुम्हारा हो गया 25th of January. 26th of January becomes again an important day because this is our Republic Day. So this time we celebrated a 77th Republic Day. Okay? So the theme was 150 years of Vande Bharat. So we're also going to look at the Republic Day. This time we had 17 states and UTs participating. And can you tell me which state or UT got the first prize amongst the Telugus that participated? Absolutely. It was Maharashtra, followed by Jammu and Kashmir, and the third one was Kerala, right? Also, amongst the ministries that participated, I think 13 ministries participated. The data should be here, in which Ministry of Culture got the first prize, right? Amongst the armed forces contingents, the Indian Navy got the first prize. So we are going to do a little detailing on the Republic Day as well. And the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, were the chief guests at this year's Republic Day. So when we're doing the Republic Day, we will also do a little bit of static on it. So 1950 to 1954, the Republic Day was organized from the Irwin Stadium in Delhi, which is now called as Major Dhyan Chand Stadium. And from 1955, it started getting organized at the Rajpath, which is now called as Kartavya Path. And the chief guest at the first Republic Day was Sukarno. Who was the president of Indonesia. Okay? So just keep this in mind. In fact, if you look at it, the Republic Day celebration starts from the 23rd of January, and it goes on till the 29th of January. And on the 29th of January, we have beating the retreat. Okay, so that's how the Republic Day comes to an end. So it ends with the beating the retreat. Okay. Then one more personality that we are going to watch out for today is 28th of January is the birth anniversary of the Punjab Kesari. Can you tell me whom am I talking about? Yes, it is a famous Lal Bal Pal. I think it's 1949. Indonesia got independent and they got freedom from the Dutch. So the famous trio Lal Bal Pal. So we're talking about Lala Lajpat Rai. There was an all-white commission, the Simon Commission that came. He was protesting in Lahore, and there was a lathi charge, and he died after a few days. Okay, so we're going to look at Lala Lajpat Rai, the books that he has written, and all that. Okay, and then आखिरी में आता है 30th of January, which is also known as the Martyrs' Day, the death of Mahatma Gandhi. So he was assassinated at the Birla Bhavan in Delhi. And his resting place is the Rajghat. Okay, so Mahatma Gandhi has come twice: 9th of January, the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, and the 30th of January, the Martyrs' Day. So we have four personalities to watch out for. The first one being Mahatma Gandhi, the second one being Swami Vivekananda, the third one being Subhash Chandra Bose, the fourth one being Lala Lajpat Rai. Okay, and you can also read a little bit about General Karyappa. Right, so that's what we have to do for this particular month, right? One more person who was in news this month was Madhav Gadgil. Please read about Madhav Gadgil. Madhav Gadgil. Okay, can somebody tell me who is he and why is he famous? Madhav Gadgil. Yes, the savior of the Western Ghats, and there is a Gadgil committee report. In fact, last year he won the Lifetime Achievement Award from UNEP. Okay, the biggest environmental body in the world, United Nations Environmental Program, gave him the Champions of the Earth Award, Lifetime Achievement, Champions of the Earth Award. Okay, so he has worked extensively on conserving the Western Ghat. Okay, so Madhav Gadgil also becomes a very important personality for the month of January. So he died in the month of January. That's why we are going to cover. Right? It must be December or January, but this was very much in news. Okay, chalo. Now, what are the other things that have happened? So besides these days, so again, a quick snapshot. The important days: 1st, 9th, 15th, 16th, 19th, 23rd, 25th, 28th, and 30th. So this is all the important days and some important personalities we are covering. DRDO, NITI Aayog, Mahatma Gandhi, return from South Africa. 15th, Army Day, General Karyappa. 16th, Lokpal, National Startup. 19th, NDRF. 23rd, Subhash Chandra Bose, Parakram Diwas. 25th, 25th is National Voters Day. 28th, Lala Lajpat Rai. 30th, again Mahatma Gandhi. I missed on 10, so just add 10 to it. National Hindi Divas. Okay? So these are the things that we have done till now. Next, important events that have happened. Okay, what I feel that we should definitely cover for this particular month. One is the India European Union Free Trade Agreement, which is being called as the mother of all trade deals. Okay, which is being called as the mother of all trade deals. Okay, so when we are going to discuss about it, I want you to understand European Union in detail, right? No, it is not important. I want you to understand European Union in detail, right? The inception was with the Treaty of Paris, 1951, and then the Treaty of Paris, followed by the Treaty of Rome, 1957, and thereafter, the 1992, the most important meeting that happened, which is known as the Maastricht Treaty in Netherlands, that led to the birth of the European Union in the year 1993. Okay, so this is important, and also you should know this, that now European Union has got 27 members. The headquarters of European Union is in Belgium, Brussels, and the European Union earlier had 28 countries, but after Brexit, which happened on the 31st of January, COVID wala year 2020, it came down from 28 to 27. Okay? So remember this. So EU as a topic becomes extremely important, right? The Commission is a body which is the executive arm of the European Union, and the President of the European Commission is Ursula von der Leyen. Okay? And on the other hand, if you look at all the head of the states that forms the European Council, right? That is headed by Antonio Costa. Okay? So India has had some 22 free trade agreements till date, and this trade is the mother of all free trade agreements, because both the economies together, they would contribute to almost 30% of global trade, slightly more than that. Also, if you look at it, we are talking about 2 billion population being shared between these two blocks. Third is we are looking at 25% of global GDP, right? And because of this particular, the free trade agreement, we are looking at the tariffs amount being cut from by almost $4 billion. And why it is important for India is because what we are importing from European Union, almost 99% of the items are going to be, will have tariffs coming down to as low as 0%. Okay. And some of the significant things would be luxury cars, where the tariffs are supposed to come down from 150% to about 20-25%. Right. So a lot of difference is going to come amongst the goods that we are trading with the European Union. If you see European Union, it is the second biggest economy in the world with more than $30 trillion GDP. India is the fourth largest economy in the world with $4.18 trillion. Okay, so there's a lot to gain for both the countries. Okay, all right. So this is one of the very significant topics that we are going to take up in today's discussion. The next one, so I'll just put it here: India, EU, free trade agreement. And the next topic that we are going to discuss in detail today is the Padma Awards, where 131 awards have been given, out of which Padma Vibhushan are 5. It is the second highest civilian honor that's given in the country. The third important news that we are going to take up today is the Ashok Chakra. Ashok Chakra. So, Subhanshu Shukla, Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla, right? He has been given the Ashok Chakra this year. So, till date now, 87 Ashok Chakras have been given, right? So, this is given for bravery during the peacetime. So, the highest award in terms of bravery during wartime is a Paramveer Chakra. Till date, 21 Paramveer Chakras have been given. And second, during peacetime, is the Ashok Chakra. Then comes the Mahavir Chakra, right? And similarly, so you have the Paramveer Chakra, then you have the Ashok Chakra, then you have the Mahavir Chakra, right? And so on and so forth. Okay? Okay. So Mahavir Chakra, Kirti Chakra, Veer Chakra, Shaurya Chakra. So that's how it goes. Okay? So we are going to discuss about Ashok Chakra, Subhanshu Shukla. Why did he get it? He got it for the Axim 4 mission. And also he is one of the selected pilots for the Gaganyaan mission, which is expected in 2028. Right? In sports, we are going to look at the Australian Open. Okay, Carlos Alcaraz has won his 7th, and now he has a career slam, which means he's got a career slam, which means he has won all the Grand Slams, all the 4 Grand Slams at least once. And amongst the women this time, it was Rybinka, okay, from Kazakhstan. She defeated Ariana Sabalenka. So Australian Open is the first Grand Slam that is played. After this will be the French Open, then the Wimbledon, and finally the US Open. The next thing is the Khelo India Winter Games has started. Khelo India Winter Games. Okay. And Khelo India Winter Games is played in Ladakh, and it is also played in Kashmir, right? And the snow leopard, which is called as Shinishi, is a mascot for this particular game. Okay. Last time it was won by the Indian Army, so we'll wait and watch who wins in this time. So it was Indian Army first, and then was Himachal, but we'll see who wins this. Also, the Khelo India Beach Games have been concluded, and this was won by Karnataka this time, and followed by Tamil Nadu. So Khelo India Beach Games is played at the Daman and Diu. So it is played at Diu at the Gogha Beach, right? So, and Pearl is the mascot for this. Pearl, which is nothing but the dolphin. Pearl is the dolphin. Then we have the 92nd chess grandmaster from India. Okay, so and that's Aryan Vashne has become the 92nd chess grandmaster. Okay, so these are a few important things from the world of sports that we'll be covering. And last but not the least is Winter Olympics. Bache, it is only going to start, yes, 2026. This year is the Winter Olympics, so we can cover that as well, but in later session. Okay? Winter Olympics. This is a year of Winter Olympics. You're right. So we are going to cover Winter Olympics in detail. And this time, the Winter Olympics is going to be played in Italy, right? It is going to be in Italy. Okay? And the first Winter Olympics started in 1924, but later. Okay. 92nd chess grandmaster. Okay? And that's about it. I think we are also going to cover 151 years of the Indian Meteorological Department, right? So it was set up in the year 1875. So 151 years of IMD, Mrityunjay Mahapatra, who is also known as a Cyclone Man of India. Okay, so guys, without much delay, we'll just get into the depth of these topics, And now Ananya ma'am is going to take it.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I welcome you to, I think, our second session for monthly current affairs today. And the last time we covered December, today we'll go into the details of January that is important to all. Okay. All right. Sir has already briefed you about everything that we will be doing today, all the topics that you have to keep in mind. So I'll be just giving you certain details that you must keep in mind. Okay. So coming to beginning with the important days, 1st of January, we have DRDO Foundation Day. This year was the 68th Foundation Day of DRDO. Now, everything that you find in the slides is what you have to keep in mind with respect to the exam relevant information. All right. So outside these topics also, till we come to every monthly session, you do your reading bits also during the entire month on daily newspapers and everything. So the information that you have to keep in mind should always be this way. Okay. All right. Now coming to DRDO, 1st of January, every year we celebrate DRDO Foundation Day, which was established on 1st of January 1958, and DRDO was established after subsuming together 3 previous organizations. Just keep the names in mind: Technical Development Establishment of Indian Army, the Directorate of Technical Development and Production, with the Defense Science Organization. So these were the 3 organizations which were merged, and finally we had DRDO come into existence. All right. Now, because we are doing DRDO, and for every organizations that you do, you must keep in mind the present secretary or the chairperson and the first secretary or the chairperson. All right. So the present chairperson is Dr. Sameer V. Kamath. He was appointed last year only. The next one is that you need to keep in mind the first one. So the first one was Daulat Singh Kothari, and he is the same Kothari who headed the commission for the first education policy of 1968. Okay. The 1968 education policy was also named as the Kothari Commission Education Policy. Okay. So he's the same person. Then the motto of DRDO is Balasya Moolam Vigyanam, which simply implies that strength lies in science. This is a Sanskrit term. Missile Woman of India is Tessie Thomas, and Missile Man of India is APJ Abdul Kalam. Now, why is she known as Missile Woman of India? And last month in December, she's also been awarded an award, that is the Paulus Gregory Award. Do keep that in mind. It was a part of a December current affair. So Tessie Thomas is the Missile Woman of India because she's undertaken massive work. Yes, very good, Garvita. She's undertook massive work for the development of the later Agni series missiles, specifically the Agni 4, Agni 5, Agni Prime, and also right now leading the Agni 6 mission. All right. Also keep in mind that DRDO manufactures or works in the sector of defense equipment. All right. So all missiles, tanks, etc., they are developed by DRDO. ISRO is the organization which works for development of space missions, satellites, space rockets, etc. Okay, so don't get confused between the two. And Missile Man of India, we have APJ Abdul Kalam. Why is he known as the Missile Man of India? Because it was under his ideation that India launched or began or established its first integrated missile development program. Okay, so the integrated missile development program was ideated by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Yes, very good. APJ Abdul Kalam in 1980, and it was formally launched in the year 1983. So it was under him that we actually begun manufacturing missiles in the country, and the first indigenous missile that we developed in India was the Prithvi missile. Okay, do keep in mind Prithvi was the first one. Okay, yes, very good, Garvita, good girls. Okay, then these are certain other missiles that you must keep in mind because they were fairly in current affairs last year. Okay, all right. Then air-to-air missile, the name that you have to keep in mind is Astra missile, and why? Because Astra missile was renamed as Gandiv in 2025. Okay, so how to remember that Astra is air-to-air, and air-to-air simply implies that the rocket launchers, they carry this missile in the space in air, that is Air Force, etc. They carry it to the air, and it is in air that they undertake at the launch of this particular missile. Okay, then surface to air missile, keep in mind Trishul and Akash. Trishul we no longer manufacture. Its manufacturing has been discontinued in 2003. Then surface to surface missiles, Agni, Prithvi, Dhanush, Shaurya. You must remember Agni missiles because Agni series we are still developing, and also we've launched Agni Prime through a locomotive last year. Okay, so it was for the first time that India undertook a launch of a missile through a locomotive and became, I think, the 4th or 5th country to undertake launching of missiles through a locomotive, that is a train engine or a railway track. Okay, and cruise missiles we have BrahMos and Nirbhay. BrahMos is important because BrahMos is one missile system that we are jointly developing in collaboration with Russia, and BrahMos also derives its name from the two rivers of the country. For Brahmaputra from India is Bra, and Mos is Moskva from Russia. All right. Then combat aircraft, LCA is the name of the program, and under this program we've undertaken development of Tejas aircraft. Then rocket system, multi-barrel rocket launcher is Pinaka, that you can keep in mind. Main battle tank is Arjun as of now. Before Arjun we had Bhishma, but Bhishma has been retired now. And anti-tank missile, India tested this last year only. It is Nag Mk2. So these are just some of them that you must keep in mind, and no other detail is relevant for your exam. Whatsoever is relevant, we will be taking up comprehensive sessions towards the end of it in collaboration with HAL. Okay, it is in collaboration with HAL. Okay. Then coming to the next one is 1st of January, also the foundation day of NITI Aayog. Okay. All right. Now NITI Aayog, this year it was its 11th foundation day. NITI Aayog, as you all know, is National Institute for Transforming India. Also for your exam, abbreviations are very, very important. Mostly 2 or 3 questions you do get in your paper, which are based on full forms of abbreviations. Okay. So this year, 11th anniversary, DRDO, it is 26. DRDO was established on 1st of January 2015, replacing the erstwhile Planning Commission of India. The Planning Commission of India was established in 1950. The purpose of both of these organizations is the same, but the Planning Commission had certain different principles on which it worked than the NITI Aayog. Okay, and Planning Commission was that institute which actually formulated the 5-year plans and worked on a principle of top-down approach. All right, not the opposite, that is grassroots development. So NITI Aayog is something which did away with the concepts of 5-year plans and also started working on 2 basic principles. One, grassroots development, meaning it started focusing on development from the smallest unit of the country and running on the idea that when development takes place from the smallest unit, if the smallest village or the city is developed, then naturally it is going to filter till the top tier, and will foster greater national development as well. Okay, and the second thing that it seeks to do is cooperative federalism. So cooperative federalism is something that you must keep in mind with respect to the NITI Aayog. Okay, cooperative federalism simply implies that now development of the country is not going to be the sole responsibility of the central government, but it is going to be a collaborative responsibility of both the center as well as the state governments. All right, that both the center and the state governments are going to work in cooperation to bring about development of the country. All right, and other than cooperative federalism, NITI Aayog also seeks to bring in competitive federalism. What does competitive federalism imply? Is that NITI Aayog keeps on releasing multiple indexes like fiscal federalism index, fiscal health index, and sustainable development goals attainment index for the country, aspirational district programs, etc. So through these and under all of these indices, the NITI Aayog gives ranks to the states. So the main purpose of giving these ranks is to, develop this ability in the states, that the states must have a healthy competition amongst each other, so that they can, bring about greater development while competing with each other. Okay, so that is there. These are two new ideations that were brought in by NITI Aayog. Okay, so NITI Aayog is the advisory think tank to the government, established through a union cabinet resolution. That is why it is considered as an executive body. All right, the union cabinet decided for its establishment, and it replaced the erstwhile planning commission, which was established in 1950. So because it is an executive body, it is neither a constitutional body, because no article of the constitution makes any provisions for NITI Aayog, and it is not a statutory body because we don't have any act which resulted in the formation of the NITI Aayog. Okay, then looking at the composition of NITI Aayog, the chairperson is the Prime Minister. He is an ex officio chairperson. Ex officio chairperson meaning that the head of the NITI Aayog will always be the Prime Minister of India. All right, it does not depend on who is the Prime Minister, but whosoever is the Prime Minister, he will by default be the chairman of the NITI Aayog. Other than that, we have the governing council of NITI Aayog, which includes the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister of all states and union territories, which have legislatures, and the lieutenant governors of other union territories. Now, this inclusion itself talks about cooperative federalism in the country. Okay, then NITI Aayog also works on regional councils, which are temporarily formed for certain issues and contingents. If the need arises, छोटे regional councils pockets में बनाए जाएंगे, maybe a tribal regional council, northeast regional council, etc. And then when the purpose is served, then they can be dissolved. Also, we have special invitees, experts, specialists, and practitioners who are called upon to advise the government on better reforms, policies, programs. Then we have certain ex officio members. Ex officio meaning that they will by default always exist in the composition of NITI Aayog, which includes the vice chairman of NITI Aayog and certain full time members and special invitees. Presently, who are members of it? The chairman, the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. Vice chairman is Suman K. Berry. The names are important, children. Minister of State is Shri Rao Inderjeet Singh, and CEO of NITI Aayog is Shri BVR Subramaniam. All right. Okay. Then these are objectives. Objectives are only for your basic understanding. You don't have to learn the objective. Naturally, NITI Aayog has been developed to ensure national development of the country, fosters cooperative federalism, formulates credible plans at the bottom level, and eventually filters upstairs, undertakes programs to ensure national security, wants to create knowledge, innovation, entrepreneur support system in the country, undertakes intersectoral and interdepartmental resolution of issues, and maintains state-of-the-art resource center, monitors and evaluates implementation of programs and initiatives, focuses on technology upgradation, and undertakes other activities which in any way fosters national development. Okay, then the next topic is Bharatiya Pravasi Divas. Now, Bharatiya Pravasi Divas, we did not have any celebrations this year. Okay, we did not have any celebrations in 2026. But because, and why did we not have any celebrations this year? Because Bharatiya Pravasi Divas is a biennial event. A biennial event meaning that it takes place once in every 2 years. Okay, once in 2 years hota hai. So, iske wajah se this year we did not have any Bharatiya Pravasi Divas celebrations. But because this year we did not have it, we'll have it in the next year. So the current affair for last year's Pravasi Divas will remain relevant till the next Pravasi Divas. Okay. So 9th of January, every year we celebrate Pravasi Divas. It is also known as Overseas Indian Day, Non-Resident Indian Day. Last year it was the 18th Pravasi Divas. Why do we celebrate this? Because we want to commemorate the return of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa to India on 9th of January 1950. It was for the first time recommended by a committee, the LM Singhvi Committee in 2002, and he recommended it in 2002. Back then, the Prime Minister of the country was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So, for the first time, it was initiated by him in 2003. So, from 2003 till 2015, it was a annual event celebrated every year. Then from 2015 onwards, it was changed and it has been celebrated biannually henceforth. Last year in 2025, it was celebrated in Bhubaneswar. Next celebration will take place in 2027. Also, you must remember the ministries which undertake them. So it was because related to overseas citizens, people living outside India, naturally it will be undertaken by Ministry of External Affairs. Other key information to be kept in mind, held in Odisha from 8th to 10 January. Chief guest was Christine Carla Kangalu, who was the president of Trinidad and Tobago, and he attended it. She attended it in a virtual manner, did not come in person. Then on this particular day, the President of India also awards diaspora of India, NRIs or overseas citizens of India who have contributed significantly towards the development of the country while staying outside. All right. So Pravasi Bharatiya Samman is the highest honor that India confers on overseas citizens. All right. And also keep in mind that all appointments in the country, all awards in the country, they are always given by the president only. Okay. The president's basic work is to make appointments, to announce appointments, and to confer awards. Okay. That is what the president does. So no award which is given at the national level will ever be conferred by the prime minister. So always remember this. Okay. So this award is also conferred by the president only. And last year it was given to 27 individuals from 24 countries. You don't need to remember the name of the awardees. Okay. Then coming to the next one, 10th of January, we celebrate World Hindi Day. Why do we celebrate World Hindi Day on 10th of January? Is to commemorate the first Hindi conference which was held in India in 1975 in Nagpur. And this was presided over by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Okay, so must remember her name, that it was her who initiated the Hindi conference for the first time in India. And then it was for the first time commemorated in 2006. That is World Hindi Day is being celebrated since 2006. Okay. So this year also on 10th of January, theme was Hindi from traditional knowledge to artificial intelligence. Okay. Achha, these days, global level par supply chain mechanisms, semiconductors, artificial intelligence, climate change, ये सारी चीजें हो रही हैं. तो mostly whatever themes are decided, they're all decided along these lines only. Okay, तो इसका भी ऐसे ही है. Then also there are two Hindi days that we celebrate. One is the World Hindi Day that is celebrated on 10th of January every year, and one is National Hindi Day that is celebrated on 14th of September every year. Okay. आगे बढ़े. Then 12th of January we celebrate the National Youth Day. Why do we celebrate National Youth Day? Because we commemorate the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, and this celebration was announced in the year 1984, is being celebrated since 1985, and like Good Governance Day, preceding 25th of December, the week before it, from 19th till 24th of December, we have Good Governance Week. Similarly, we have National Youth Week from 12th to 16th of January. All right. Then he was born in Kolkata in 1863 and died in 1902 in West Bengal. His original name was Narendranath Dutt. He was the disciple of Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans, and it was on his ideation only that for him he founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1897. Okay. Then what are the things that he did? He is the preacher of Neo-Hinduism. Neo-Hinduism simply implies a form of Hinduism which, according to him, was supposed to be free from vices, which did not have ill practices, which believed in science as well as believing in religion. Okay. Then basis of his message to the world were Upanishad, Gita, the life of Buddha and Lord Jesus, introduced Indian philosophy of Vedanta and yoga to the Western world. Yoga has been propounded by ऋषि पतंजलि. ओके, तो इनका नाम याद रखना. बाबा रामदेव योगा करते हैं, पतंजलि के फाउंडर हैं. तो योगा हैज बीन इंसेप्टेड बाय ऋषि पतंजलि. His mission was that to conjoin or to make people realize that it is through service, it is through kindness that you could attain salvation or attain a connect with God. So what he basically tried to preach was that there is a close relationship between service and between your behavior. Okay, so he basically had this famous ideation where he said that service to mankind is service to God. Okay, basically he wanted to tell the people that the more you be kind to people, the kinder you are being towards God. Okay, and between spirituality and day-to-day life, then naturally this is very, very important about him, that he delivered the famous Chicago speech where he began his entire speech with the idea of my brothers and sisters of America. तो शायद उस टाइम तक किसी ने कभी ऐसा कुछ बोला ही नहीं था कहीं इंटरनेशनल फोरम में जाके. So his speech of my brothers and sisters of America inspired the people too much in Chicago back then. Okay, so he gave that speech. You need to remember the year also, 1893. ये important है. And another thing that you have to keep in mind is that here, because it was World Parliament of Religions, so he had also gone there to depict or represent one of the religions. So the religion that he was representing would naturally be Hinduism. Okay, so he represented Hinduism and there were other people representing other religions. And one of the people later who was present there, they became a part of the Indian national movement later, and it was there that he met that person for the first time, and that particular person was representing the Theosophical Society. So do you all want to answer this question, that who could probably be representing this Theosophical Society in the World Parliament of Religion? Very good, Tanmay. Annie Besant. Okay, it was Annie Besant who was also present there, and he met her for the first time. Okay, then naturally advocated universal brotherhood, emphasized character building, etc. Okay, so these are the things that you have to keep in mind with them. Then coming to the next day is the Indian Army Day. Just before this day, one more day that you can keep in mind is the 14th of January. And 14th of January, what do we celebrate? If anybody wants to answer this question, we celebrate Veterans Day, not Veterans Day, but Veterans Day. Veteran meaning somebody who served his service and somebody who's retiring, somebody who's old. Okay, so 14th of January is celebrated as Armed Persons Veteran Day. Okay, Veteran Day meaning that they commemorate the armed personnel who've retired. All right, and why do they commemorate this? Because it was on 14th of January 1953 that the first commander, Indian commander-in-chief of the Indian Army retired or superannuated. Okay, all right. Now the Indian Army Day. One interesting fact about the Indian Army or the armed forces for that matter is that we commemorate 15th of January as the Indian Army Day, not because the Indian Army was established or founded on the 15th of January. We commemorate the first Indian commander-in-chief taking the command of the Indian Army on 15th of January. Okay, so why do we celebrate Indian Army Day on 15th of January? Because it was on this day that in 1949, the last British commander-in-chief, General Sir Francis Roy Butcher, handed over the command of the Indian Army to an Indian commander-in-chief for the first time, and he was no other than Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa. Okay, so this signified the Indianization of the Indian Army. Also, Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa, he was not the first Field Marshal of India. He was the second Field Marshal of India. Until date, we've had only 2 Field Marshals. The second one was Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa. The first one was, who was the first Field Marshal of India? Yes, Sam Manekshaw. Okay. All right. So about General Cariappa, he was the first commander-in-chief of the Indian Army. He was the commander of the Western Front during the Indo-Pakistan War. The third one is not a field marshal from the army. He is a field marshal from some other armed forces. Now you tell me which armed force before I take it up for you. Okay. All right. So he led Indian force in the Western Front. He was appointed the commander-in-chief of the army in 1949. He is one of the only two Indian army officers to hold a 5-star rank of field marshal, the other being Field Marshal Sam Manek Shaw. Okay, Arpita, I'll give you the recorded session. Okay. All right. Now, he was the second one. And what one thing you have to keep in mind is that Field Marshal is a 5-rank officer. Okay. Acha, recently, one of our neighbors also got a Field Marshal. Which neighbor and who is that Field Marshal? Yes, Munir. Which country and what is his full name? Pakistan, General Asim Munir. Very, very good, Tanman Garvika. And why I wanted to flag this for you is because 2-3 days back when I had taken up the daily analysis, so I had taken this up. There was this article in the newspaper which talked about the 27th amendment to the Pakistan Constitution. So you have to keep in mind that it was through the 27th amendment to the Pakistan Constitution that he was appointed he himself proclaimed himself to be the Field Marshal of the Pakistan Army. Okay, and yes, Tanmay, you are absolutely correct. They've not removed it, they've replaced it. Okay, they've not removed it, but they've said that beyond the Supreme Court of Pakistan, they'll also have a federal court, and this federal court will now be given the right to interpret the constitution and the like. Okay. Okay. Then certain other facts about the Indian Army. It was established on 1st of April 1895 as British Indian Army. Motto is service before self, headquarters New Delhi. Now the commander, supreme command of the defense forces, that is all the 3 forces plus the Coast Guards, NCC, etc. Plus the Coast Guard, is the President of India under Article 52 of the Constitution. Then we have below him or her, we have the Minister of Defense. Presently, it is Rajnath Singh. The first one again must keep in mind, it is Sardar Baldev Singh. Then under Ministry of Defense, under this Ministry of Defense, all the armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Territorial Army, NCC, Border Roads Organization, and DRDO, they all work under the Ministry of Defense. Then Chief of Defense Staff as of now, and also Chief of Defense Staff, who is the permanent chair of Chief of Staff Committee, Secretary, Department of Military Affairs, Ministry of Defense, and Principal Military Advisor to the Raksha Mantri, a 4-star general, and presently it is General Anil Chauhan. And first Chief of Defense Staff was late General Bipin Rawat, who died in a helicopter crash, and it was in 2020 only that this particular post of Chief of Defense Staff was actually established. So its establishment here is also important. Creation, although has been given since 1999 during the Kargil Review Commission, then again in 2001 it was given. Then Naresh Chandra Task Force also reiterated it, and then finally you must remember only the last committee, the Shekadkar Committee of 2016's recommendation finally resulted in the creation of first Chief of Defense Staff. Okay. What is ex officio? The Supreme Commander-in-Chief. Yes, it has been provided for under Article 52. It is a constitutional provision that the Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces will be the President of India. Okay. Then other Commander-in-Chiefs. First Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army, Francis Roy Butcher. First Indian Commander-in-Chief of Indian Army, K.M. Cariappa, 15 January 1949. 14 January, his retirement is Veterans Day. Chief of Army Staff, 4-star General. Presently it is General Upendra Dwivedi. Chief of Air Staff, Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh. Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi. Then honorary ranks, that is a 5-star Field Marshal for the Army, Sam Manekshaw and K.M. Kariappa. Then an honorary rank, that is a 5-star for Navy. It is known as Admiral of the Fleet. Abhi tak we've had none. Then for Air Force, it is known as Marshal of the Air Force, and it has been Arjan Singh. Okay, so I think Tanmay raised the question. Yes, you need to remember that is why it has been given. Okay, okay. So one of you had raised the question. So for honorary ranks, that is a 5-star rank. We've had 2 field marshals. Field marshals are for the army, and admiral of the fleet is also a 5-star rank, and it is for the navy, but we've never had it. For the Air Force, it is Marshal of the Air Force, which has been Arjan Singh. Okay. Then Navy Day we celebrate on 4th of December. We did it last month. And Air Force Day is on 8th of October. We'll do it in the month of October. Okay. Then coming to the next one quickly. Lokpal Day on 16th of January. Why? Because on 16th of January in 2014, the Lokpal and Lokayuks Act of 2013 was implemented. Okay. So from 2014, every year we commemorate 16th of January as Lokpal Day. What is a Lokpal? Lokpal is an ombudsman. Ombudsman meaning a grievance redressal portal or grievance redressal body. And what is this grievance redressal? The grievance redressal is against corruption. So it is basically an anti-corruption act, anti-corruption provision. These officers sit at the center level known as Lokpal. In the states, they are known as Lokayog, and they undertake investigations into all group A, B, C, D government officers as well as NGOs who receive foreign donations equivalent to 1 crore of rupees. Okay. And also keep in mind that this idea of Lokpal or an anti-corruption ombudsman, India has adopted from the country of Sweden. Okay. So till last year, June 2025, the motto of Lokpal was Ma Greda Kasyasvidhanam, which simply implied do not be greedy for someone else's wealth. But last year into June 2025, the motto was changed to empower citizens, expose corruption. Okay, the motto yaad rakhna. Then historical evolution. For the first time, it was proposed in 1963. Then the first Administrative Reforms Commission also proposed it in 1966. Many Lokpal bills were introduced, etc. between 1968 to 2011. It was finally passed in December 2013 and implemented in January 2014 under or after massive efforts that were undertaken by an activist. You must remember his name, Anna Hazare. Okay. And then adopted from the office of Ombudsman of Sweden. Ye sara information not relevant so much. Don't have to remember this. This is important. This is important. He is important, and Sweden is important. Okay. All right. Then composition and members. A total of 9 members are there in the Lokpal. For Lokayuks, it keeps on differing from state to state. So you don't have to remember for Lokayuks. Only for Lokpal is important. So it has a total of 9 members. 1 is the chairperson and 8 other members. Out of the 8 other members, 4 are judicial members, 4 are non-judicial members. They are appointed by the president. All appointments, all awards in the country is done by the president. Recommendations of a statutory selection committee. Tenure is 5 years or up to 70 years, whichever is earlier, meaning that if they are appointed at the age of 62, then after 5 years, they will retire, even if they are not 70 years of age. If they are appointed at the age of 67, they will retire at 70 years, even if they have not completed 5 years of their tenure. Okay. First Lokpal of India was Pinaki Chandra Ghosh. Now you have to keep in mind that the act was implemented in 2014, but the first Lokpal was appointed in 2019. This is absolutely correct information. Okay. He retired in 2022. Then for 2 years, we had an additional charge, a temporary Lokpal that was appointed, Justice Pradeep Kumar Mohanty. And then the second Lokpal has been Justice Ajay Manika Rao Khanvilkar. He is, as of now, the present Lokpal of India. Okay, so must remember his name. Then eligibility criteria: chairperson must be a former Chief Justice of India or judge of the Supreme Court. Judicial members must be former Supreme Court judges or chief justices of high courts. Non-judicial members must be persons who have had around 25 years of service in experience services in all these particular fields. Okay. Jurisdiction covers allegations against the Prime Minister, Union Ministers, members of Parliament, central government officials in Group ABC. Even Prime Minister is under the ambit of the Lokpal. Okay. Then also all public sector undertakings, meaning all government companies. Okay. Autonomous bodies, trusts, societies established or funded by the union government, and also all NGOs or any other body that receives foreign contributions equivalent to 1 crores of rupees. Okay. So this is important, must keep in mind. Okay. Then coming to the next one, the Parakram Diwas, which is celebrated to commemorate the birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and this is celebrated by the Ministry of Culture. It is a 3-day event celebrated from 23rd to 25th of January every year. It has been celebrated since 2021 by the government to commemorate the legacy of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay. Now you don't have to remember the date specifically and everything, the education and everything. That is not important for your exam. Must remember, born on 23rd January 1897 in Cuttack, Odisha, became the mayor of Calcutta in 1923. His political guru was Chittaranjan Das or C.R. Das. This is important. Okay. Then he joined the Indian National Congress in 1921, became the Congress president in 1938 for Haripura session. Then he again got elected in 1939 for the Tripuri session. But there were differences between his ideas and that of Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi made a sad face about it that he again got elected, while Mahatma Gandhi's candidate, who was Pattabhi Sitaramaiah, he was defeated. So Mahatma Gandhi took it to heart and said that it was not Pattabhi Sitaramaiah's defeat, it was his personal defeat. So Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose felt that ठीक है अब हम resign कर देते हैं, because he did not wish to upset Mahatma Gandhi. So Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose resigned from the Indian National Congress as well as from the presidentship of the Indian National Congress in 1939. Okay. And also you need to remember, I will take it up for you in history classes, that in 1939, the then Congress session in Tripuri, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose resigned. Okay. Mahatma Gandhi's candidate was Pattabhi Sitaramaiah. He was defeated, so he did not take up the presidentship. A new president was appointed, and he was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Okay, for the 1939 session. ठीक है. उसके बाद फिर कांग्रेस को छोड़कर he established his own political organization named Forward Bloc in 1939 from Unnao in Uttar Pradesh. All right. Then other relevant information, the things that he did in the Indian Army. All right. Now, in 1939, he established his own political party, his own political organization, but because his ideas were so radical, Mahatma Gandhi did not like people favoring him. So he thought that since 1939 resulted in the outbreak of the Second World War, so he thought that he is going to take help from the enemies of Britain, and they will help him to gain independence for India. So he was put under house arrest, but he left India in 1941 from Calcutta and reached Peshawar under a pseudonym, or disguised himself as a Pathan, and took the name Ziauddin. From Afghanistan, he went to Russia, and from Russia, he finally went to Germany, where he met Hitler under another pseudonym, which was Orlando Mazzotta. Okay. Then with Hitler's help, he set up the Freedom Army or Mukti Sena, comprising of Indian prisoners of war that Germany had fought fighting with Britain. Then Bose came to be called Netaji by the people of Germany. Okay, the people of Germany, these prisoners of war, they called him Netaji. He gave the famous slogan Jai Hind from Free India Center in Berlin, Germany. In 1943, he reached Japan, and from there he went to Singapore. Then the Indian National Army, or the Azad Hind Fauj. The Indian National Army, originally, it was the idea of Captain Mohan Singh, who organized prisoners of war into the Indian Army in 1942. Rash Bihari Bose formed the Indian Independence League in 1942 in Tokyo. Rash Bihari Bose was a revolutionary. He was a revolutionary who had dropped the bomb on Lord Hardinge in 1912 in Delhi. फिर उनके ऊपर बम लगाने के बाद, who was a viceroy, he got so scared that the British are going to catch hold of him. He fled from Delhi and he went to Japan. It was in Japan that he eventually became a nationalized citizen of Japan, and then also he, undertook this, collected all these prisoners of war and also started forming an organization named as India Independence League. Okay. Then on 21st of October 1943, Bose formed the Provisional Government for Free India at Singapore with H.C. Chatterjee. नाम याद रखना बच्चों. Finance, he held the finance portfolio. M.A. Iyer, broadcasting. Lakshmi Swaminathan, women department. Okay, Lakshmi Swaminathan was that particular person who led the women regiment of the Indian National Army. Okay, so you must remember her name. We are doing the January current affairs, इसलिए I'm speeding it up a little bit, but in history also I will take up Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose all in a more detailed manner. Okay, so don't go in a state of panic that it is too much information. Okay, all right. He gave his famous slogan, "You give me blood and I shall give you freedom." तो मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा. From Malaya, that is Malaysia, Singapore, a woman regiment named Rani Jhansi Regiment was also formed, and it was this Rani Jhansi Regiment that was headed by Lakshmi Swaminathan. Okay, headquarters of the Indian National Army was shifted from Singapore to Rangoon in January. He gave the war cry, Dilli Chalo, or Chalo Dilli. Chalo Dilli was given by him also, and Dilli Chalo was also given during the individual Satyagraha movement by Vinoba Bhave. Okay? Then 1944, now you have to remember that it was him that had given Mahatma Gandhi the title of Azad Hind Fauj. Okay? Then March 18, 1944, with the Azad Hind Fauj, the Indian National Army, as well as with the help of Japan, he advanced on to Nagaland in Kohima and Imphal in Mizoram, where they were defeated by the British Army. But before he was defeated, they also hoisted the Indian National Army flag in Moirang in Manipur. This place now has an INA memorial complex. Okay, and there were massive cries of war crime, but they're just slogans that the army raises. Okay, basically when you are in the army, you serve in the army, they generally have this one, they decide amongst themselves that this is going to be the war cry, that everybody knows that you belong to this one particular battalion. If you've seen any movie like Sher Shah and all, so they did have this war cry, Dil Mange More. Okay, so they decide amongst themselves. All right. So this was also the war cry, in the sense that just the battalion or that army group, they keep on shouting these slogans just to, keep on motivating each other. All right. So Jai Hind or Netaji Zindabad were the war cries. Then 15th of August 1945, bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and that resulted in the surrender of Japan. When Japan surrendered, then Netaji finally fled from India in a Japanese aircraft which crashed in Taiwan, and it was there that it is considered that he died on the 18th of August 1945. Now there was a news piece regarding this just a few days back on Parakram Diwas itself, when his daughter, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's daughter, she had asked the Indian government to bring back the ashes or remains of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose from Japan. All right. And then again, another current affair that was there, I had flagged it for you all also, that presently the person who is heading, or this is the president of the Forward Bloc, the same Forward Bloc that has been established by him, Forward Bloc, he said that let his mortal remains remain in Japan and we mustn't bring them back. Okay, so all these historical bits, they keep on coming back in. Okay, then other things that you must keep in mind with respect to him is he edited both of these newspapers Forward and Swaraj. See, certain places you will read that he was the editor of both these newspapers. Certain places you will read that he was the editor of Forward, which was established by C.R. Das, and this he founded himself. But you will not get questions asking you whether it was edited by him, it was not edited by him. The questions you will get is which personalities associated with these newspapers. So just keep in mind Forward and Swaraj. All right. Other important books by him: The Indian Struggle, Dreams of a Youth, Azad Hind, A Beacon Across Asia, At Crossroads of Change, etc. Not so important. Only The Indian Struggle must be kept in. Okay. Then Subhash and Bose, Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar. This is also an award that you must keep in mind. Has been given this year only on his birth anniversary. It is given every year on 23rd of January, Parakram Diwas. So this year, in individual category, it was given to Lieutenant Colonel Sita Ashok Shelke, and individual institutional category, it was given to SSDMA, Sikkim State Disaster Management Authority. Present chairman of National Disaster Management Authority is the Prime Minister. We had a current affair on this today in the newspaper. You will look at the newspaper analysis today and let me know कि क्या है इसका current affair. Okay, then coming to the National Voters Day, 25th of January. Why do we celebrate National Voters Day on 25th of January? Because on 25th of January 1950, the Election Commission of India was established. The Election Commission of India is a constitutional body provided for under Part 15 of the Constitution in Articles 324 to 329. Article 324 does not call for establishment of the Election Commission of India, but just provides that the superintendent's direction and control of the elections will be undertaken by the Election Commission of India. So indirectly, it provides for the Election Commission of India. Okay. This year, the theme was My India, My Vote. My India, My Vote. And it is the 16th National Voters Day. The 16th National Voters Day hai, it implies that it was celebrated for the first time in 2011. So constitutional body under Article 324 Part 15, headquarters is in New Delhi, conducts elections to 6 bodies or offices: the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, State Legislative Assembly, State Legislative Council, the President and the Vice President of India. It does not take elections to the panchayats and the municipalities because those elections are undertaken by the State Election Commission. Okay. So, constitutional provisions must keep in mind Article 324, which calls for superintendent direction and control of elections to be vested in Election Commission of India. 326 is important. It provides for the principle of adult suffrage. Does not say that the right to vote is a constitutional right. Okay? Or Article 329 is important, which forbids the state courts to intervene in electoral processes only during the process of election. Election khatam ho gaye, results declare ho gaye, then courts can look into petitions, etc. Okay? Chalo. Structure of Election Commission of India. Originally, the commission had only one election commission, that is from 1950 till 1989. ठीक है? केवल एक ही था. उसके बाद 1989 में the 61st Constitution Amendment Act of 1988 was implemented. What did this Constitution Amendment say? The 61st Constitution Amendment Act, it reduced the voting age from 21 to 18. So because 21 to 18, the age was reduced, which entailed that more number of people were now to be included in the electoral rolls. So the number of, the amount of work for only the Chief Election Commission was too much. So for a temporary period from 1989 to 1990, the president appointed or 2 additional election commissioners, and then after the revision of the electoral rolls and everything was finished, then it was moved back to a single member body. But then it was realized that a single person cannot do it alone. So in 1993, it was permanently made a 3-member body, which was inclusive of the Chief Election Commissioner and 2 election commissioners of India. Okay. All right. They are appointed by the president, and they are appointed as of now under the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners, Appointment, Conditions of Service and Term of Office Act 2023. This act said that previously the Chief Election Commissioner and the election commissioners were appointed only by the president. अब क्योंकि केवल president appoint कर रहा है, the president actually, this is not its discretionary power. The president does this on the aid and advice of the prime minister and his council of ministers. ठीक है, तो बहुत बार ऐसे instances होने लगे where leader of the opposition they started saying, and the opposition members parties they started saying that the appointment of the chief election commissioners is very biased. The majority party makes these appointments and the election commission favors them in the elections. All right, so this act was brought in which said that the president is going to make this appointment on the recommendation of a 3-member committee, which is to be inclusive of the prime minister, the leader of opposition of the Lok Sabha, and any union cabinet minister. Okay? Then they are to have a fixed tenure of 6 years or 65 years, whichever is earlier. The salaries and conditions will be the same as that of a judge of the Supreme Court. They can resign anytime or can be removed before the expiry of the term. How are they removed? In the same manner as that the judge of a Supreme Court is removed by the parliament. Okay. Then, while election commissioners can only be removed on the recommendation of the chief election commissioner. So, chief election commissioner will be removed in the same manner as the judge of a Supreme Court. Other important news for the month of January that you must keep in mind, that the Election Commission of India has launched ECI Net, which is a digital platform, and this was launched during the International Conference on Democracy and Election Management that was also undertaken by the Election Commission of India in January 2026, and this resulted in the adoption of the Delhi Declaration. What is the Delhi Declaration? Don't have to get into details. Only this much information is relevant for your exam. ठीक है, चलो अब Republic Day पर आ जाते हैं. All right. These were the chief guests to the Republic Day. This beautiful lady, this beautiful man. Now, who are they? Who are these chief guests? Batao bhai, who are the chief guests for Republic Day? Quickly. Ursula von der Leyen and Antonio Costa. Okay, very good. All right. Okay. So before we get into the Republic Day and celebrations, let us quickly look into certain important facts. So before Republic Day, 24th of January 1950. One thing that you have to keep in mind about this date is that this was the final session of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly, which was established in December of 1946 to frame a constitution for free India. This Constituent Assembly held its final session, which had the head of the country as the Governor General, held its final session on 24th of January 1950, 2 days before the Republic Day. And it was this Constituent Assembly on 24th of January 1950, final session of the Constituent Assembly, and the final session of the Constituent Assembly elected the head of the country on 24th of January 1950. That is, it elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the President of India. And because now we had an elected head, we formally became a republic. And it was further formalized on 26th of January 1950 with the final adoption of the Constitution as well, which date we commemorate as the Republic Day in India. Okay. Then 24th of January also resulted in the adoption of the national anthem. National anthem is Jan Gan Man, written by Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore originally wrote it in Bengali with the name Bharto Bhagyo Vidhata. Bharto Bhagyo Vidhata, which was Sanskritized Bengali. Then a Sanskritized Hindi version of it was Jan Gan Man, which was adopted as the national anthem. Also on this day, we adopted the national song. National song, very, very important this year. National song, 7th of November, 1875. It was written and commemorating this 7th of November. So from 7th of November, 2025, till 7th of November 2026, we are celebrating 150 years of 150 years of Vande Mataram. Okay? So Vande Mataram is very important this year, and Vande Mataram was also the theme for Republic Day this year. Okay, 150 years of Vande Mataram. So Vande Mataram was written by Bankim Chand Chatterjee in 1875. It was in one of his papers that he published. Then in 1882, it was published in his book Anand Mat. And then this year we are celebrating 150 years of Vande Mataram. Election of Rajendra Prasad was the first president of India on 24th of January. And when you talk about framing of the constitution, the Constituent Assembly was established on 6th of December 1946. 9th of December 1946 had its first session. The objectives resolution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 13th of December 1946, which was introduced by Jawaharlal Nehru and formally adopted on 22nd of July 1947. It was on 22nd of July 1947 that we also adopted our national flag. Okay, now tell me who has designed the present national flag of India. Okay, Constitution Day, 26th of November 1949. Why? Because on this day, 3/4 of the Constitution was formally adopted. But because on 26th of January 1930, Jawaharlal Nehru on 29th of December 1929 had talked about or had said that 29th of December 1929, the Indian National Congress's session was held in Lahore. Okay, this session was presided over by Jawaharlal Nehru. It was in this session that Jawaharlal Nehru said that the aim of the Indian national movement henceforth will only be attainment of complete independence or Purna Swaraj. Okay, so Purna Swaraj or complete independence was adopted as the goal of the Congress on 29th of December 1929. And to commemorate this adoption of Purna Swaraj, Jawaharlal Nehru had announced that on 26th of January 1930, India is going to celebrate its first Purna Swaraj Day or Complete Independence Day, not because we had gained complete independence, but because the objective was now set at as complete independence. Okay? This year, Republic Day is also celebrated on 26th of January 1950 because Jawaharlal Nehru said we must enforce the entire constitution on this day. Then the Constituent Assembly worked on the constitution for a total of 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. 26 January 1930, Purna Swaraj Day. Theme of Republic Day is 150 years of Vande Mataram. The national song, chief guest, President of European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and President of European Council, Antonio Costa. Okay. First chief guest of the first Republic Day was Sukarno. Ministry of Home Affairs tableau this year represented the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, 6 years of its implementation. Then Republic Day fly past was led by the Sindoor Formation commemorating Operation Sindoor. Republic Day highlights: PM lay the wreath at Amar Jawan Jyoti at National War Memorial. Chief guest Ursula and Antonio Costa. Unfurling of the flag took place. The president did that. The Independence Day speech was given by Independence Day. The unfurling of flag is done by the Prime Minister. Republic Day parade took place at the Kartavya Path, which was previously known as the Rajpath. We are now de-anglicizing it. So, and the parade commander was Lieutenant General Bhavnish Kumar. Okay. Okay. EU contingent, 4 officers, flag of EU, 12 pointed stars was also led. Army undertook all of this, phased battle, array format, Shaktiban, etc. I can go through all of this. This is important that for the first time, double humpbacked Bactrian camels, 2 of them were a part of the Independent Republic Day. The Tri-Services tableau was Operation Sindoor. DRDO also unveiled LRASM, which I will take it up in detail also today. Tableau of Ministry States. Theme was 150 years of Vande Mataram. And Ministry of Home Affairs, Jan Kendra Nyaya Pranali, that was the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. 2 bacterium cameras also participated in it. Okay, that is all that you must keep in mind. Winners this year, the best tableau was awarded to Maharashtra. Okay, then followed by Kashmir and then followed by Kerala. Best tableau Maharashtra, Kashmir and then Kerala. Okay, okay. Then birth anniversary of Lala Lajpat Rai, 28th of January. He is known as Punjab Kesari, the Lion of Punjab. He was a part of the radical trio Lal Bal Pal. Lal is Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal is Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Pal is Bipin Chandra Pal. Okay, major contributions to the freedom struggle, actively participated in the Indian National Congress. He was the one who advocated for Swaraj or self-rule. Then he led the Simon Commission protest in Punjab, and it was there where he was brutally assaulted under a lathi charge which was ordered by the police officer James A. Scott, and it was there that he declared that every blow on him is a nail in the British rule in the country. And then because he sustained fatal injuries in this lathi charge, he died on 17th of November 1928. Okay, and when he died because of this, his death was avenged by Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev, who instead of killing James A. Scott, mistakenly killed Officer John Saunders. And it was for his death that the three Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev, they were also hung to death on 23rd of March 1931. Okay, he is responsible for establishing the Servants of People Society. Yaad rakhna hai, important hai. Books written by him: Young India, England's Debt to India, Unhappy India, Life of Shivaji, Life of Mazzini, newspapers, People and Punjabi. Okay, then coming to the national news quickly, India has assumed the India assumes the presidentship or chairmanship for the 18th BRICS summit, which will be undertaken this year, and also India has given the logo. Okay, so this is the logo that India has launched. Not only the logo, also has launched the official website for BRICS. The logo is 6 petals, lotus, which symbolizes the not the BJP government, sorry, which symbolizes the national flower of the country, and naturally is the BJP symbol, but they will not say that, they'll mention it as the national flower. And then the center symbolizes the Namaste, which depicts the unity, diversity, etc. of India. Okay, all right, then quickly, Brazil has formally handed over the BRICS presidency to India for 2026. Indian chairmanship is structured around 4 pillars: resilience, innovation, cooperation and environmental stability, or sustainability. Significance of India's presidency: India seeking to reform the global governance, giving equitable share to the global south leadership, support for multipolar world order, promotion of digital public infrastructure, and various multipolar world order. Okay, then looking at the logo and theme, India is hosting the 18th one. 17th one was held in Brazil in Rio. BRICS logo symbolizes inclusivity, dialogue, shared growth, blends tradition with modernity, with petals reflecting the vibrant colors of all BRICS members and symbolizing collective strength and unity. At the center is Namaste, which conveys warmth, respect, harmonious collaboration. Theme is building for resilience, innovation, cooperation and sustainability, and it draws inspiration from Prime Minister's humanity first, people-centric vision for BRICS. Then talking about a little bit of BRICS, this information is relevant, must be on your fingertips. The term BRICS was coined by Jim O'Neill in 2001, and that it was initially BRIC because South Africa joined it in 2010. So BRIC stood for Brazil, Russia, India and China. Then the first BRIC summit was held in 2009 in Ekaterinburg in Russia. BRIC became BRICS with the inclusion of South Africa in 2010. The aim was to reform global governance, provide alternative to Western dominated institutions like World Bank, etc. Chairmanship, it rotates annually amongst the BRIC member countries. 3 pillars of BRICS cooperation have been political and security, economic and financial, cultural and people to people cooperation. Okay, members are important, you have to remember them. These are the initial members, the founding one, जिनके नाम पर BRICS है, and now we have the new members known as BRICS plus: Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, UAE and Indonesia. So we have a total of 5 plus 11 members. Okay, we have a total of 11 BRICS members. Number is important. Okay, chalo. Then coming to the Romeo Juliet clause, this is a part of your legal GK. Okay, now the background of this particular clause is, or this particular provision is, that the government had enacted the POSCO Act, which is Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, and this act was brought in 2016, and it was only to give protection to younger children against any sexual offense, harassment, etc. Okay, now what happened, that recently it was seen that this particular act has been misused, and generally the misuse is undertaken by some parent or the other. Okay, so it was seen that there were a lot of children who were below 18 years of age, but they indulged in consensual sexual relations, which sometimes was not naturally, will never go down well with the parents. So a lot of times the parents, they would inflict the POSCO Act on either of the two children, mostly on the boys, which resulted in misuse of this particular act. Okay, so the Supreme Court has now urged the Union government to introduce a Romeo-Juliet clause in the POSCO Act, so that such consensual adolescent relationships could be protected and the children could be protected from any untoward action that may come out of such untoward, allegations that parents of the children may put against each other. Okay, so just keep this in mind. I'll give it to you in detail also in writing. So misuse of law, what highlighted the instances where the age of the victim is misrepresented to make the incident fall under the stringent provision of POSCO, where law has been used by families in opposition to relationships between young people. Okay, introducing this clause to exempt genuine consensual adolescent relationships where age difference between parties is minimal from harsh application of POSCO. Okay, because naturally this is ignored and it could result in wrongful imprisonment. Okay, what is the POSCO Act? The POSCO Act was enacted to protect children, that is anybody who is below 18 years of age, from sexual assault, sexual harassment or pornography, defines a child as any person below 18 years and applies irrespective of the gender of the child or offender. Okay, categorization of offences, classifies sexual offences against children into penetrative and non-penetrative assault, aggravated forms, etc., prescribing stringent punishments that can range from imprisonment to life sentences also. Okay, all right. Then this is just a one-liner that you have to keep in mind, a very small one only for AILET purposes, but I've just given it nonetheless. So Womania initiative was undertaken by the government in on 14th of January 2019, and it was simply undertaken to encourage the participation of women in micro small enterprises. Okay, that is all about this. Okay, then another personality news. Why have I taken this up? Because he did undertake massive work in terms of environment, specifically the Western Ghats, their restorations, etc. So again, it's a very small information about him that you have to keep in mind, that he did undertake and he's passed away. It is only for AILET that you have to keep him in mind, that he did undertake establishment of significant preservation policies for the Western Ghats of India. Okay, all right. Then coming to the economic survey. Before we get into the details of economics, oh God, okay, about Madhav Gadgil, he founded the Center for Ecological Sciences at the Indian Institute of Sciences, Bengaluru, 1989. This is important. It was his efforts that resulted in the establishment of Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve in 1986, and Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve has been India's first biosphere reserve. Okay, he chaired the Western Ghats Expert Ecological Panel, served as member of Prime Minister's Science and Technology Advisory, one of the architects of India's Biodiversity Act of 2002, and also the Forest Rights Act of 2006. Recently, on the implementation of Forest Rights Act, there have been massive protests in Maharashtra, specifically amongst the tribal groups. Okay, so there was an editorial few days back in the Hindu, I believe, and these are the various awards that he has been given. Okay, now coming to the economic survey, the slides switched up and down. Okay, what do you have to keep in mind? Generally, every year the economic survey was tabled on the 31st of January, one day before the economic budget. The purpose of bringing in the economic survey before the economic budget is that you get an idea about everything that the government did in the past 1 year and what were the benefits of it, what have been the advantages of everything that the government did 1 year back, and what were the major shortcomings or drawbacks. So through the economic survey, we come to know about the drawbacks, the problems, and then it is these problems that are addressed by the government in the economic budget. Okay, so generally it always used to come one day before the economic budget, but this year it was tabled on the 29th of January. Okay, again, there is no hard and fast rule that it must always come one day before the budget. It was just a convention that was being followed. Okay, so the economic budget is released by Ministry of Finance, detailed review of the economy. It is not a constitutional or statutory requirement, but a convention, just a tradition that is being followed. It is prepared by the Chief Economic Advisor. It generally till 2020, it had two parts. Part 1 gave an analytical view, the themes, recommendations, everything that was done. Part 2 gave a more statistical, basically give the statistics and pie charts and diagrams with the ups and downs and everything. Since 2021, it has been merged into a single volume. Now we only have one economic survey. Okay, so this economic survey this year, the finance minister, we have Nirmala Sitharaman, and the chief economic advisor that undertook the entire establishment. Yes, before I could ask the question, very good. V. Anand Nageshwaran. Okay, good. Okay, now with respect to the economic survey, this is everything that you must keep in mind. Iske alawa, do not get into the details. Okay, वैसे भी very little figurine questions are asked with your. Okay, not 1st of April, beta, 1st of February. आ चुका है budget. I've also taken a major session on the budget. It is announced on the 1st of February every year. 1st of April is always the beginning of the next financial year. The financial years are considered from the 1st of April to the 31st of March of the next. Okay, Shaurya? Okay. Economic survey tells us that India is one of the fastest major growing economy. Do keep in mind that real GDP growth was 7.4% and gross value added growth was 7.3%. ठीक है, तो ये वाला figure important है, ये वाला important नहीं है. Growth drivers क्या थे? Supply side में it was the services sector which gave in the maximum growth. Okay, so there are three basic sectors that are outlined. सबसे ज्यादा ग्रोथ जो है सर्विसेज सेक्टर में हुआ 9.1, while on the demand side domestic demand was the main driver with private final consumption expenditure reaching so much. This information don't have to remember. ठीक है, ये याद रखना है और 9.1 services sectors याद रखना है. Then gross fixed capital formation grew by 7.8% and its share remains steady at 30. Fiscal means financially. Fiscal means financial. Okay. Okay. Pressure on state finances. Combined fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit मतलब कि जितना भी revenue है, everything that the government has collected minus the estimates. Estimates मतलब कि everything that the government is thinking of expending. Estimated expenditure, sorry. ठीक है? Estimated expenditure. That is known as expenditure. That is known as fiscal deficit. ठीक है? तो state government का fiscal deficit increased to 3.2 in financial year, up from 2.8% of the GDP in post-pandemic period. Government debt reduce हो गया है इस बार about 7.1%. And external sector, just remember, don't have to remember the figures. Just keep in mind that India is the largest recipient of is the largest recipient of remittances. Remittances का मतलब क्या होता है? Remittances का मतलब ये होता है the total amount of money that somebody who is working outside India sends to India. Okay, that is known as remittance, and India is the largest recipient of remittances. Okay, then again, this was in news. It was a wonderful initiative. Do keep in mind that the Supreme Court has directed that menstrual hygiene is a part of Article 21. This is a direction that the Supreme Court has issued to schools specifically, that under Article 21, menstrual hygiene must also be included, and they've said that it is a fundamental right, where it is now the duty of the schools to ensure that proper toilets, separate clean toilets for girls and boys in co-ed schools, and otherwise clean toilets for girls in girls schools must be maintained, and other items for menstrual health must be ensured in respect in each and every school. Okay, why? Because a lot of times it was seen that it was because of lack of menstrual facilities available in the schools that a lot of schools, girls specifically in the rural areas, they shied away from going to schools, and also this resulted in their overall, suffering in personality development, and then also sometimes they tend to drop out from schools also, and then naturally it resulted in a lot of health related problems as well. So what did they highlight? That right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution includes the right to menstrual health. Article 14 also was somehow linked to it, which did say that it debars equality with men, because inaccessibility of menstrual hygiene resulted or strips away the right to participate on equal terms with schools. Girls tend to miss schools, etc. Then naturally upkeeps the dignity of the girl. Then also results in structural discrimination because of lack of availability of sanitary products in school premises. Also does away the girl's right to education, and right to education is also a fundamental right under Article 21, and then has also issued mandatory institutional measures that must be undertaken to ensure menstrual hygiene. Okay, then coming to the major bit for international news. Now, international news, United States of America has gone berserk in the month of January. So in terms of United States of America, there are 3-4 topics, subtopics under United States of America that we will be covering today. Venezuela, Greenland, entire relations with NATO and European Union, and also that recently USA has withdrawn from 66 international organizations. Okay, all right. Then quickly coming to United States of America launching Operation Absolute Resolve. ठीक है, तो ऑपरेशन का नाम इंपॉर्टेंट है. What is Operation Absolute Resolve? The United States of America launched Operation Absolute Resolve, under which the American military went into Venezuela in the presidential palace at Caracas and took into custody or arrested President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores. All right. Then why was he arrested? It was basically given out or made public that under the leadership of Maduro, there was massive corruption in Venezuela. Unemployment rates were very bad, and the entire country had become a drug cartel, and too much of narco terrorism was undertaken. These were the reasons that were cited by Donald Trump, and also that Venezuela had started showing too much of closeness to China as well as Russia. All right. Then on paper, it was also said that Maduro, who had come into power in 2013, after the death of the erstwhile leader of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, this particular election that they called was not a just election. It was not a fair election. He had usurped power by force, etc. So because of that, Donald Trump said that it was not a popular election. They did not recognize him, and also cited reasons like too much of corruption, too much of illicit activities, narco terrorism, drug cartels, illegal migration from Venezuela across the border into North America. All these things were cited by him. But everybody knows that the real reason was oil reserves. All right. So he undertook this operation, took control of these two leaders, brought them to America, and instilled there in Venezuela a leader who was in favor of US, or basically was in favor of America. Then other leaders or the other reasons also cited by him was hyperinflation, and said that Venezuela presently also has the largest reserves of oil globally, but its production has declined significantly. So the production has declined significantly, citing the reason that it was because of corrupt activities and corruption in the state that this incident took place. Okay, that Venezuela started their entire this thing started falling. Okay, then Donald Trump's first presidency, US accused Maduro and senior officials for drug trafficking. After Trump's return to office in 2025, his administration declared a renewed war on drugs for Venezuela. Venezuelan elections are widely disputed, leading to US and over 50 countries to withdraw recognition of Maduro, though he retained power with military backing support from Cuba, China, and Russia. So all of them, as of now, just keep in mind the name of Delcy Rodriguez. Okay, you are also, Delcy Rodriguez has been the person who is right now the interim or the acting president of Venezuela. Okay, till we have a popular election, do keep in mind her name, although she has shown significant unlikeness towards USA. She's given statements saying that now US has to stay put wherever US is. US shouldn't interfere so much into Venezuelan activities, etc. But she has been appointed as the acting president for Venezuela as of now. Against her, we've also had Maria Corina Machado. Who is Maria Corina Machado? Batao. Who is she? Who is Marie? Nobel laureate, Nobel Peace Prize winner, yes. And she was all. And why was she given this Nobel Peace Prize? Why was she given this Nobel Peace Prize? She was the opposition leader, and also that she was against the entire dictatorial regime that they believed was undertaken by Maduro in Venezuela. Okay, she was also one of those contenders, and she has presented her Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump. Okay, wo aayega? Yes, Monroe Doctrine is important. Okay, all right. Then Operation Absolute Resolve. US Special Forces launched a raid on Carcasses, Miraflores, Paris, arrested them. Okay, reasons for them: Monroe Doctrine revival. Okay, what is Monroe Doctrine revival? Now, Monroe Doctrine was given by President Monroe in 1823. Okay, now in 1823, India, USA, the Americas had just, North America had just gained independence around 30-40 years back, and there were still massive instances of the European powers still seeking power or territorial expansion in Americas. So under the Monroe Doctrine, then President Monroe of America, he had basically said that it should be only America's influence in the Western Hemisphere. No European powers should expand into the Americas now. All right. Now, Donald Trump has played along the Monroe Doctrine and, renamed it as Monroe Doctrine, and wants to now establish the fact that Donald Trump wants to not only remove, the outside European influence, but now he's seeking to remove outside influence in any region adjoining the Americas. Okay, so Monroe and Monroe Doctrine, both of them are important. He's also cited China factors, that China has significant influence in this region, oil interest, largest oil reserves in Venezuela, narco terrorism. Okay, then the operation raises questions under UN Charter 2.4 Article 2.4 prohibiting use of force. Article 2 of the United Nations basically forbids that you can't forcefully undertake any activity in some other country, because you have to respect each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. So again, how is this justified under this? A major question mark. All right. Then US cited self-defense under Article 51 of the United Charter, when they said that how can you do this? You have to respect somebody else's territorial integrity and sovereignty. So US justified it, saying that narco-terrorism, illegal immigrants, influence of USA's enemies like Russia, Cuba, China in Venezuela was a significant threat to the United States of America. Okay. All right. Then the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine is a cornerstone of US foreign policy, first articulated by James Monroe, where he called for a colonization ban. A colonization ban meaning any European attempt to colonize or interfere in the Western Hemisphere was considered as unfriendly disposition towards the US. Okay. Then Dundro is a play on Monroe term by a reassertion of Donald Trump's foreign policy stance. Okay? Then claim over Greenland. Now, recently he also made this entire announcement that US wants to take over Greenland. Now, Greenland is a semi-autonomous region and it is a part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Now, the European Union forces undertook a military exercise in the region of Greenland, and since then Trump said that it is a major security threat for the United Nations, that such military activities are taking place very close to the United States of America. Okay, and also it is believed that Greenland has a massive store of resources, and as of now Trump is undertaking these whatever form of neo-colonialism that he is practicing, he is undertaking it in terms of access to more and more resources. So Trump has started laying claims on the Denmark territory of Greenland. Okay. Achha. Now, before that, during World War II, the US occupied Greenland, which is a Danish colony, to prevent Nazi Germany from gaining control after Denmark was occupied. Now, Denmark did lose the initial wars to Germany, and back then also Greenland was a part of Denmark. Just to prevent that Hitler or the German armies should come here, USA had taken control over Denmark. Then after the war ended in 1946, USA offered Denmark around $100 million to purchase Greenland, but Denmark refused, which resulted in the 1951 of US-Denmark Defense Agreement, which said that US can use Greenland as a military base but can't take over Greenland. Okay, so a military US base was established there. So US operates the Pituffik Space Base, formerly Thule Air Base, a key installation there, and this was undertaken only because Greenland is a part of Arctic. Arctic has a direct connect to Russia. So US wanted to keep an eye on the communist countries, okay, Russia, China, and North Korea. Okay, then Donald Trump previously wanted to purchase this, but then again Denmark had absolutely rejected it. So now US has basically talked about taking over Greenland by force. All right, US has also bought territories previously, like Louisiana in 1803, Alaska in 1867 from Russia, and in 1917 the Danish West Indies. Just for general information, don't have to get into the details of it. ठीक है, बाकी क्यों करना चाहते हैं? क्योंकि बोल रहा है रशिया का ज्यादा उस पर कमांड हो रहा है, and also because China has started claiming itself as a near Arctic state. Okay, does not have a direct border with Arctic, but has started calling itself a near Arctic state. ठीक है, बाकी क्यों? Military and security significance, space satellite tracking, critical mineral resources, emerging Arctic shipping routes, etc. Okay, concerns with NATO and EU, ये important है. अच्छा, अब इसमें दो चीज आ रही है. एक चीज NATO. Now NATO established on 4th of April 1949. ठीक है, NATO का full form North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Mark Rutte is its secretary. Now, NATO was established by the United States of America during the Cold War period, and Denmark and other Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, Netherlands, France, etc., they are all part of NATO. NATO has an article which is Article 5. This Article 5 calls for the principle of collective security. Collective security का principle मतलब that an attack on any one of the NATO members will be considered as an attack on all the NATO members, and then it calls for concerted combined attack by the NATO countries on that aggressor country. ठीक है? Now USA is also part of NATO. Denmark is also a part of NATO. Okay. Now another scenario is the European Union. These countries, the Scandinavian countries, along with Denmark, who are part of NATO, are also part of European Union. So around 8 countries of European Union, they said that European Union is going to invoke Article 5 of NATO against USA in case US tries to take over Greenland by force. Okay. So when you said this, then the USA under Donald Trump also issued a statement, और ट्रम्प के पास बस एक ही काम रहता है जो ट्रम्प करता है, और वो है टैरिफ लगाना. तो जैसे ही यूरोपियन यूनियन ने ये बोला, 8 कंट्रीज ने बोला, बट क्योंकि यूरोपियन यूनियन इज अ कलेक्टिव ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन इटसेल्फ, तो इसके लिए ट्रम्प सेड कि tariffs will be imposed on these 8 countries. Now you because they are part of European Union, so you can't impose tariffs on only 8 countries. You will have to impose tariffs on the entire European Union. Okay, so this is the entire concern with NATO and the European Union, the background. Okay, all right. Then coming to the next bit of information is that US has withdrawn from 66 international organizations, one of them being the International Solar Alliance also of India, other than that IPCC, IRENA, etc. And last year it undertook exit from World Health Organization, Paris Climate Agreement, जो कि officially complete हो चुके हैं. So these 2 organizations have been officially exited from by the United States of America. Why is US exiting this? Because his entire vision of to make America great again, इन सारे organizations में अमेरिका का बहुत पैसा जाता है, which Donald Trump says कि वो अमेरिका में यूज करना चाहते हैं, इन countries को दान नहीं करना चाहते हैं. ठीक है, organizations को दान नहीं करना चाहते हैं, and also that they had a lot of binding policies which were perceived to constrain the domestic policy of or autonomy. ठीक है, institutional bias हैं, domestic pressures हैं, etc. Then another important piece was USA's Board of Peace. ठीक है, so Donald Trump last year had brokered or tried to broker the Gaza peace agreement between Palestine and Israel to end the Israel-Gaza war. All right, taking or aligning with the Gaza peace agreement, USA under Donald Trump has also proposed to establish the Board of Peace. Of this Board of Peace, he's invited innumerable countries. Even India is an invitee to the Board of Peace, but India as of now is still mulling on the decision and has not taken a major decision or stance as to become a direct part of the Board of Peace. This Board of Peace is a Board of Peace that has which will be headed by Donald Trump, whether he is the president of USA or not, but by default he will always be heading the Board of Peace. Okay, so this was released or somehow opened up by him in during the World Economic Forum Summit in Davos, and India was also extended an invitation. As of now, we've not accepted it, and the purpose of this is to establish peace and to bring about resolutions of conflicts, not only in Israel and Palestine. Right now, the main agenda is Israel and Palestine, but otherwise also, whenever there is any war anywhere. Okay, so proposed in September 2025, formally created in December to oversee phase 2 of the Gaza peace conflict agreement. Okay, immediate mandate, its primary role is to supervise the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, a Palestinian technocratic authority. Leadership and composition, it is going to be chaired by Donald Trump. The board includes prominent figures like Jared Kushner, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Countries that have already accepted: Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Israel, UAE, Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, Pakistan, Indonesia, Vietnam. Notable absentees: major European powers such as France, Germany, UK, Italy, etc. They were not present. Permanent members of UN Security: Russia, China, France, UK. They were also not present. ठीक है? India को भी दिया है, but India as of now has not given any answer. Then coming to the next initiative, Pax Silica. This was also initiated by the United States of America on the 12th of December 2025. Now, the present world order, which is more inclined in terms of semiconductors, artificial intelligence, etc. तो semiconductors पर आजकल सभी को monopoly चाहिए. The monopoly presently, not monopoly, but one of the largest producers of semiconductors as of now is Taiwan, followed by South Korea. Okay, semiconductors क्या है? Semiconductors, chips, etc. They are very, very important inputs to in the present energy scenario, transitioning from fossil fuel based energies to renewable sources of energies. So renewable sources of energies में solar panels, windmills, electric vehicles, batteries, in सब में semiconductors play a very, very important role. So everybody wants to have monopoly over this. So for this, USA initiated the Pax Silica Summit. Pax Silica, the term itself implies Pax is Latin for peace, and silica here means the basic raw material that is used in the manufacturing of semiconductors. ठीक है? तो इसके लिए ये initiative launch किया गया, और इसलिए launch किया गया because USA wanted to reduce the dependencies on Eastern countries, specifically China, etc., which had significant monopoly over global supply chains and AI supply chains in terms of semiconductors. वो खुद अपने यहाँ इसको बनाना चाहता है. ठीक है? It has 8 founding members: Netherlands, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Israel, Singapore, UK and UAE. Observer participants में Canada, EU, OECD, Taiwan, and with future potential partnership. India is not a member of it. India को बुलाया भी नहीं गया था इसमें. India is still anticipating a membership. Okay? चलो. Then coming to the protests in Iran. Now Iran has been under fire recently, और ये सिर्फ इसलिए हो गया है because after the 1979 revolution in Iran, there was a political upheaval. ठीक? उसके बाद Iran, before 1979, Iran was a pretty westernized country and had very good relations with the United States of America. 1979 के बाद the Shah monarch of Iran was ousted and the control of Iran was vested in a supreme leader. This supreme leader is known as Ayatollah. Presently, we have Ayatollah Khamenei as the Ayatollah Ruhollah Khamenei as the supreme leader of Iran. This supreme leader is the final commander of Iran, and he makes all the major decision making. Undertakes all the major decision making in Iran. Now, since 1979 till 2026, the Ayatollah has established a wide, full-fledged rule in Iran, which has become very, very stringent and too dictatorial of it. This has also resulted in major inflation, unemployment, poverty, joblessness in Iran. So the people, they have started protesting against the Ayatollah and the entire dictatorial regime, and they've started calling back the erstwhile ousted Shah monarch to come back and instigate his rule in Iran. ठीक है? अच्छा, अब दिक्कत क्या है? That Iran and USA, they don't have good relations with each other. क्यों नहीं है? Because Iran did away with USA, established an Islamic state, does not accept too much of westernization and secularization in the country. Plus, it is a resource-rich region, has wonderful reserves of oil, has wonderful reserves of natural gas, and also is undertaking enrichment of uranium at a massive scale. तो ऑयल के पीछे यूएस पागल रहता है, तेल ईरान का हार्नेस नहीं कर सकता है, ईरान ने करने नहीं दिया 1979 के बाद, तो रिलेशंस खराब होने लगे. दूसरी चीज, ईरान स्टार्टेड अंडरटेकिंग एनरिचमेंट ऑफ यूरेनियम, जो कि वाज सीन बाय यूएसए as abrogating the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, वो ट्रीटी एब्रोगेट करने लगे, न्यूक्लियर एनरिचमेंट करने लगे, जिसका मतलब ये हुआ कि यूएसए को ये लगने लगा दैट नाउ दे विल अंडरटेक मेकिंग न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब्स एंड दिस बॉम्ब विल बी ड्रॉप्ड ऑन आयतुल्ला रोहोला खमैनी है शायद, बेटा एक बार चेक कर लो, आई मे बी रॉन्ग. Okay. All right. So because now no access to oil etc. is being undertaken, so naturally US has this problem. But now अब यहाँ पर मौका मिल गया है US को because the people themselves are protesting against the Ayatollah of Iran, and because they are protesting against the Ayatollah, US has started pitching in, calling, saying that massive number of protesters are being killed in USA, which is resulting in Iran, sorry, which is resulting in too much of violation of human rights, and US is going to intervene to protect the people of Iran and to remove the Ayatollah from Iran. ठीक है, तो बीच में they had started undertaking massive declarations against each other. US had threatened कि वो ढेर सारा armada, the US is going to send a major armada to Iran with lots of warships and weapons, etc. And also against this, Iran had also said that Iran is also absolutely ready to counter the attack, etc. But as of now, yesterday Iran had issued a statement where Iran said that Iran is absolutely willing to come to terms and negotiations in a fair and equitable manner with Iran, with the US. Okay, so this is the basic crux of the protests in Iran. Okay, then the United Nations High Seas Treaty has been enforced. All right, so the United Nations High Seas Treaty, which is also known as the Agreement on Conservation and Sustainable Use of Marine Biological Diversity of Areas Beyond National Jurisdiction. Areas beyond biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction, मतलब वो area which falls in the open seas region on which access to resources is given to everyone. तो यहाँ पे जो resources हैं उसको कैसे मैनेज करा जाएगा, उसके लिए यूनाइटेड नेशंस की हाई सीज ट्रीटी बनाई गई थी. द ट्रीटी वाज ब्रॉट इनटू एग्जिस्टेंस इन 2023 और ये हुआ था that when 60 countries ratify the treaty, then the treaty will be implemented. So since 2023, 2025 में Morocco became the 60th country to ratify the treaty, and so the treaty is now being enforced on, has been enforced on 17th of January 2020. ठीक है, this BBNJ has become the third agreement approved under United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. ठीक है, मैं किस चीज की बात कर रही हूँ here? यहाँ पर whenever we look or move out from the territorial border of any country, any region, तो ये वाला जो हिस्सा आता है which is beyond 200 nautical miles, ये वाले हिस्से में all countries have the right to undertake exploration of minerals, etc. But this also has to be under certain said rules. तो इसके लिए ताकि sustainable development is undertaken, so for that the High Seas Treaty was brought in so that all countries abide by their rules to ensure conservation and sustainable use of marine biological resources. Okay? So it is a legally binding international agreement and it is the first. India signed the agreement, ratified it in September 2024 only. Objective क्या है? To address critical issues such as increasing sea surface temperatures, over exploitation of marine biodiversity, overfishing, coastal pollution, unsustainable practices beyond national jurisdiction. Also, it is going to help to attain SDG goal 14, which is life below water, so that all global targets to protect 30% of the world's coastal and marine areas by 2030 is achieved. इस समय presently we have 83 nations who have ratified the treaty. You only need to remember the 60th nation country, which was Morocco. क्यों? क्योंकि ट्रीटी का क्लॉज ये था कि अगर इस ट्रीटी को 60 कंट्रीज रैटिफाई करेंगी, रैटिफाई मतलब दैट यू साइन द एग्रीमेंट एंड इट इज एक्सेप्टेड एंड पास्ड बाय योर पार्लियामेंट, तो जब 60 कंट्रीज कर देंगी ओनली देन इज दिस एग्रीमेंट गोइंग टू बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड. ठीक है, इंडिया ने अग्रीमेंट साइन कर दी है बट अभी रैटिफाई हमारे पार्लियामेंट ने अभी पास नहीं किया है. ठीक है, ओके. अनक्लॉज क्या है? द फुल फॉर्म इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. यूनाइटेड नेशंस कन्वेंशन ऑन द लॉ ऑफ द सी. फुल फॉर्म मस्ट बी रिमेम्बर्ड. क्यों लाया गया? फॉर सस्टेनेबल यूज एंड मैनेजमेंट ऑफ वर्ल्ड ओशन. अडॉप्टेड इन 1982. एनफोर्स कब हुआ? 1994 में. इसी तरह कि उसमें भी एक सेट नंबर ऑफ कंट्रीज का सेट नंबर ऑफ कंट्रीज का गोल सेट किया गया था. ठीक है, देन इट replaced the fourth Geneva Convention of 1958. UNCLOS divided marine areas into 5 main zones. ठीक है, तो ये 5 main zones जो हैं, this has been replaced by UNCLOS. Okay, has been brought into existence by UNCLOS, which is United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. ठीक, तो convention gives a clear definition of internal waters, territorial waters, contiguous zone, exclusive economic zone and continental shelf. ठीक है, then members, it has a total of 167 member states and the European Union, India is also a member to UNCLOS. Okay, ये divisions होते हैं. From the land till 12 nautical miles it is known as the territorial sea. From the land to 24 nautical miles is known as the contiguous zone. From the land till 200 nautical miles is known as exclusive economic zone, और उसके beyond it is the high seas. ठीक है, चलो. Then non-permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. United Nations Security Council has a basic structure that it has 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. 5 permanent members are known as P5, US, China, UK, Russia and France. इसके अलावा the 10 non-permanent members are divided in this manner. 3 members from Africa, 2 members from Asia, 2 members from Latin America and Caribbean, 2 members from Western Europe and 1 member from Eastern Europe. Okay, United Nations Security Council के सारे members ऐसे divided, and this is what you have to keep in mind. Okay, so non-permanent members इस साल कौन आए हैं? Bahrain, Colombia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Latvia and Liberia. The United Nations Security Council, the static bit of it, established in 1945 as one of the 6 main principal organs. Purpose is to maintain international peace and security. 5 permanent members, 5 non-permanent members होते हैं. ठीक है, then again United Nations Security Council 1945 से अब तक, this year it is the 81st year of United Nations. Okay, so under the United Nations, last year there was an initiative that was launched known as UN80. UN80 is United Nations 80-year calling for reforms. Okay, that in its 80th year it has to bring in reforms. तो reforms के नाम पर बात ये होने लगी that the total number of members in the United Nations Security Council must be increased. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर हम केवल इसके permanent members देखते हैं तो permanent members are very squarely represented. US, China, UK, Russia, France, 3 countries वेस्टर्न यूरोप से हैं, 2 कंट्रीज वेस्टर्न यूरोप से हैं, 2 एशिया से हैं और 1 अमेरिका से. नो अदर कॉन्टिनेंट्स. ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज नॉट रिप्रेजेंटेड इन द परमानेंट मेंबर्स. अफ्रीका नहीं है, साउथ एशिया का और कोई नहीं है, वेस्ट एशिया का कोई नहीं है. तो दे वांट बेटर रिप्रेजेंटेशन हियर. दैट इज व्हाई दे आर कॉलिंग फॉर रिफॉर्म्स. ये रिफॉर्म्स बेसिकली 4 कंट्रीज ने प्रपोज किया है, इंडिया, ब्राजील, जर्मनी एंड जापान, एंड दे आर नोन एज G4. ओके, तो G4 has called for reforms in the membership. तो रिफॉर्म क्या बात करी गई है? दे आर कॉलिंग दैट एक्सपेंशन ऑफ द काउंसिल टू फ्रॉम 15 to 25 और 26 सीट्स, जिसमें से अ टोटल ऑफ 11 परमानेंट मेंबर्स होने चाहिए, 6 नए परमानेंट मेंबर्स आने चाहिए and around 14 to 15 non-permanent members. Okay, ये distribution है which I've just talked about before. Okay, then India has been elected as a member of the United Nations Security Council for a 3-year term from 2026 to 2028. Membership in ECOSOC is a region-based and divided among 5 geographic groups: Africa, Asia Pacific, Eastern Europe, Latin America, Caribbean, and Western European and other states. India is elected under the Asia Pacific group alongside China, Lebanon, and Turkmenistan. ECOSOC का headquarter is in New York, established in 1945, and presently every year it has 54 members. Its total membership is 54 members. The president, which are elected for a 3-year term. तो इंडिया इस साल इलेक्ट हुई है 2026 से 2028 तक के लिए, और ये मेंबर्स में से 54 members में से ही they elect the presidents and vice presidents as well. Also, the present head of ECOSOC is Lok Bahadur Thapa. Okay, he's from Nepal. Please remember his name. Lok Bahadur Thapa is the head of ECOSOC. Okay, then the United Nations has declared its international years. So for 2026 till now we have International Year of Rangelands and Pastoralists, International Year of Volunteers for Sustainable Development, International Year of Women Farmer. 2027 के भी 2 declare हो गए हैं: International Year of Sustainable and Resilient Tourism, International Year of Legal Literacy. Important है तुम लोगों के लिए. And 2029 has been declared as International Year of Asteroid Awareness and Planetary Defense. ठीक है? Okay. Then Eurozone में Bulgaria has joined Eurozone as the 21st country. ठीक है? Okay. So what is the Eurozone? Eurozone is the region which and all the countries which join the Eurozone, they have the same currency, which is the euro. Okay. So Bulgaria officially joined Eurozone by adopting euro on 1st of January 2026 and removing its erstwhile currency, which was the Bulgarian lev. Okay. Okay, Eurozone क्या है? It is a group of EU countries that have adopted the euro. ठीक है? European Union came into existence in 1992 through the Maastricht Treaty. Euro was launched as the official money. European Union's currency is euro. Okay, there are 27 countries in the European Union, but only 21 countries have taken up euro or have joined Eurozone. So all countries who take up euro as their official currency, they become a part of the Eurozone. Okay, euro is the currency, like rupee is the currency for India, euro is the currency for members in Europe who become a part of the Eurozone. Okay, 1999 euro was adopted as the book money. Okay, this is just the basic information about the Eurozone. Okay, so you can keep in mind just a little bit. Just keep in mind that Bulgaria is the latest one who's joined. 21 countries had total. Yeah. Correct. Now, quickly moving ahead with the European Union Free Trade Agreement. Now, this is an important one, and why is it important? Because of late India has been getting major yeses to a lot of free trade agreements. Okay. So India, EU, last year we had it with United Kingdom, we had it with EFTA, now it is with the European Union, and also just 2 days back, the tariffs were also lowered on India. Okay, so this was negotiated with the European Union when the president of the European Union and the president of the Council of European Union and the European Union president had come to India as chief guests to the Republic Day. All right. And also it is said that the entire threats of tariffs that Trump had issued on European Union actually pushed European Union to signing this particular trade deal. Okay. What is important is that it is signed between these leaders. It is considered as mother of all deals. Negotiations had begun in 2007, suspended in 2013, then renegotiations began in 2022, and finally we got this free trade agreement with the European Union. Okay, what are the key features? The European Union has agreed to remove tariff on 99.5% of items that India exports to the region. Okay, and on India side, the tariff concessions have been offered on 97.5% of the traded value of European Union exports. Okay, then these are the major products from which India gets from that India exports to European Union, and it is on all of these products that zero tariffs have been put, like marine products, chemicals, plastic, leather, textiles, apparels, etc. And all of these products are very, very labor intensive. Okay, so because these are labor intensive, that is why it is believed that this trade agreement is going to benefit India in terms of the manufacturing sector. All right, this just gives you a detail that India secures tariff reductions across 97% of tariff lines, covering 99.5% of trade value. About 90.7% of India's exports will enjoy zero duty access to the European Union market. Major beneficiaries are labor intensive sectors. ठीक है, European Union को क्या benefit होगा? India has agreed to duty elimination or reduction on 92.1% of tariffs. Nearly half of these tariffs will see immediate duty elimination. High technology imports from the European Union, such as machinery, electrical equipments, medical devices, pharmaceuticals, aircrafts, etc., will be imported into India at very low tariffs. Then on European cars, the import duty has reduced from 110 to 10%, whereas on wines, it is set to reduce from 150% to 20 to 30. Okay. Then coming to Euratom. Euratom is the European Atomic Energy Community, with which India has also undertaken a peaceful pact. Okay, so peaceful uses of the nuclear energy under India Euratom agreement has also been fostered. What is Euratom? Euratom is the European Atomic Energy Community, which was established by the Treaty of Rome in 1957 to promote peaceful use of nuclear energy. Okay, so India and European Union signed a research and development agreement on peaceful uses of nuclear energy with Euratom in July 2020, and India has been an associate member of CERN, which is their nuclear energy developer since 2017. Okay, then this is a very small bit that you have to keep in mind. All right, then India-Japan held its 18th strategic dialogue. You only need to remember that they launched private sector dialogue on economic security, which will focus on 5 priority areas. आजकल पूरी दुनिया में केवल सेमीकंडक्टर्स, क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स की बात हो रही है, क्लीन एनर्जी की बात हो रही है, इसमें भी वही चीज है. देन इंडिया एंड जापान एस्टैब्लिश जापान इंडिया एआई स्ट्रेटेजिक डायलॉग, जो कि मोदी जी के एब्रिविएटर ने जिसका नाम जय रखा है, जापान इंडिया एआई कोऑपरेशन इनिशिएटिव. ठीक है, इसके अलावा जापान हैज इनवाइटेड 500 स्किल्ड एआई प्रोफेशनल्स फ्रॉम इंडिया फॉर ट्रेनिंग. ओके, बाकी इंडिया जापान रिलेशंस have been upgraded to strategic relations. 2+2 ministerial dialogues होते हैं इंडिया और जापान के बीच में. Joint exercises like JIMEX, Dharm Guardian, Malabar and Milan also take place. Okay, then coming to, I think this is the last bit in international news. इसके बाद सब छोटे छोटे हैं बस. तो World Economic Forum held its 56th summit. World Economic Forum was established on 24th of January 1951 by Klaus Schwab. बस इतनी ही information इसके बारे में जरूरी है और कुछ नहीं. It is a summit where the developed countries of the world meet annually in Switzerland and basically undertake discussions on economic policies as well as geopolitical constraints. Okay, this year the theme was a spirit of dialogue. Mark Carney's speech has been given major recognition here, and he has brought in the Carney Doctrine. Mark Carney is the Prime Minister of Canada, and he has called कि जितने भी middle income countries हैं, they must come together, and coming in together, they must, unite in the face of all these tariff threats that are being undertaken by Donald Trump. Okay, chalo. Then coming to the next bit, science and technology. जल्दी जल्दी करेंगे, बहुत छोटी चीजें याद रखनी है. That ISRO's latest launch, that is PSLV C62 has failed. ठीक है, इसमें अभी 2 दिन पहले ISRO has and the central government has directed to undertake an in-depth search कि क्यों fail हो रहा है, because this is ISRO's second consecutive fail. C61 had also failed and C62 has also failed. PSLV C62 was set to put 16 satellites into the space. और ये थर्ड स्टेज 3 स्टेज रॉकेट है. पहला स्टेज ठीक गया, दूसरा गया ठीक, तीसरे स्टेज में there was significant problem and the mission started failing. Okay, don't get into the details of it. PSLV का full form important है, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, वो याद रखना है. It is a 4 stage launch vehicle. पहले स्टेज में लिफ्ट ऑफ होता है, मतलब जमीन से उठता है और एटमॉस्फेयर की तरफ बढ़ती है. सेकेंड स्टेज इज वर्टिकल टू हॉरिजॉन्टल ट्रांजिशन, कि पहले ऐसे जा रही होती है, वर्टिकल ट्रांजिशन से फिर से ऐसे उड़ना होता है. देन थर्ड स्टेज इज रैपिड एक्सेलरेशन, तेज से सैटेलाइट आगे बढ़ती है. एंड फोर्थ स्टेज इज जिस भी ऑर्बिट में उसको जाना है उसमें जाकर दे स्टार्ट पोजिशनिंग द सैटेलाइट. ओके, so you need to keep this in mind. Okay, then the next is supercomputer Param Shakti, which has been launched. इसमें भी only the name is important. You only have to keep in mind the name Param Shakti. Okay, it has been developed by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and has been undertaken under National Supercomputing Mission. Okay, all right. National Supercomputing Mission 2015 में launch हुआ था and it undertakes development of supercomputers. Supercomputers are extremely fast computers which can undertake quick calculations, etc. बाकी इंडिया के supercomputers, the first one was Param 8000, then was Param Parvega, largest supercomputer, Param Shivai, first indigenously built supercomputer in India, and Airavat is a common computer platform for AI research, etc. So Airavat से AI याद करें. Okay, all right. Then World Indian Meteorological Department this year celebrated 151st Foundation Day, established in 1875, operates under Ministry of Earth Sciences. इस बार 151st birth anniversary पे the IMD announced that they are going to deploy 200 automatic weather stations जो weather capturing और weather forecasting करेंगे, and this will enable India to provide weather and disaster related satellite support to not only itself but also to all these other countries. ठीक है, last year 150th birth anniversary थी, 150th birth anniversary पर IMD ने मिशन मौसम लॉन्च किया था. ओके, चलो, then coming to Hope Island and Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary, बस ये याद रखना है that Andhra Pradesh government has called for development of Home Island as a satellite launching station. This is just a one-liner जो याद रखना, ठीक है. Then we move ahead to the environment section. Environment section में again only a one-liner that you have to keep in mind. कि last year we got the first dolphin census report. 2026 में गवर्नमेंट ने बस नोटिफाई कर दिया है कि सेकेंड डॉल्फिन सेंसस का प्रोसेस आप स्टार्ट करने जा रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो प्रीवियस डॉल्फिन सेंसस ने बोला था दैट इंडिया हैज अ टोटल ऑफ 6327 गैंजेटिक रिवर डॉल्फिन्स इन द कंट्री. लास्ट ईयर वाज मोस्टली ओनली सराउंडेड अराउंड द गंगा रिवर डॉल्फिन. इस बार इस सर्वे ने is going to include Irrawaddy river dolphin also, as well as Gangetic and Indus river dolphin as well. So 3 dolphins include होंगे third. Gangetic dolphins known as tiger of the Ganges, scientific name Platanista gangetica. It is the only riverine dolphin found in India, first discovered in 1801. National Ganga River Dolphin Day celebrated on 5th of October. India has developed the National Dolphin Research Center in 2021, which is not only India's but also world's Asia's first National Dolphin Research, Asia's first Dolphin Research Center in Patna, Bihar. The first maximum was in UP and then in Bihar and then in West Bengal. Dolphin Sanctuary, Vikramshila Sanctuary, Bihar में है. Assam was the first state to geotag dolphins in India. Project Dolphin was launched in 2020. Project Dolphin 2.0 भी launch हो गया है और the second phase in 2025 last year launch हुआ है. ठीक है, तो ये भी याद रखना. Habitat fresh waters है in India, they are found in around 7 states. ठीक है, IUCN status endangered है. Headquarters of IUCN is in Gland, Switzerland. ये अलग सी information है which you can keep in mind. Sites में Gangetic liver dolphins first appendix में है. साइट्स का हेडक्वार्टर्स जिनीवा स्विट्जरलैंड में है. इंडियाज वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1972 में डॉल्फिन्स आर अंडर शेड्यूल 1. इट वाज डिक्लेयर्ड एज द नेशनल एक्वेटिक एनिमल ऑफ इंडिया इन 2010. 2009 में गवर्नमेंट ने नोटिफाई करा था, अनाउंस करा था. ऑफिशियली इसको 2010 में बनाया गया है. स्टेट एक्वेटिक एनिमल है ये, यूपी का, असम एंड बिहार. ओके, देन दिस गवर्नमेंट प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैज आल्सो अनाउंस्ड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ काजीरंगा एलिवेटेड कॉरिडोर प्रोजेक्ट. ये इसलिए नहीं इंपॉर्टेंट है कि एलिवेटेड कॉरिडोर प्रोजेक्ट बनाया गया है, अनाउंस किया गया है. एलिवेटेड कॉरिडोर प्रोजेक्ट मतलब ये सराउंडिंग एरिया से एक ऊंचा कॉरिडोर बना देंगे फॉर सेफ मूवमेंट ऑफ वाइल्ड लाइफ. कॉरिडोर मतलब पैसेज which will only be used by animals who travel from one forested region to another, ताकि human animal conflict कम हो. Now, why did I take this up? Only to flag for you the Kaziranga National Park. ये important है that Kaziranga National Park has the highest population of largest population of Indian one-horned rhino. ठीक, इसके लिए it is important. Also, the Kaziranga National Park is a national park, tiger reserve, and it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1985. ठीक है. Then in the month of January, we got 2 new Ramsar sites. One is the Padma Bird Sanctuary in Etah district, Uttar Pradesh, and another is Chari Dhand Wetland Reserve in Gujarat. ठीक है, 2 January 2026 में आए हैं. Other static information about Ramsar sites: World Wetland Day celebrated on 2nd of February. Why? Because it was on 2nd of February that the Ramsar Convention was signed in the city of Ramsar in Iran. 1971 में साइन हुआ है. It was enforced or implemented 4 years later in 1975. India ratified it in 1982. Ramsar का headquarters कहाँ है? It is along with International Union for Conservation of Nature in Gland, Switzerland. It is not glands, it is Gland. Gland है, ठीक है. Gland is the name of the place in Gland, Switzerland. Now, to qualify as a Ramsar site, there are around 9 criteria. You satisfy any one criteria, you can qualify as a Ramsar site. Now, Ramsar sites are wetlands, are waterfowl habitats. Waterfowl मतलब birds that are that live around water. Okay, so there were certain wetlands which were significantly threatened. इसके लिए एक अलग से register बनाया गया, which was known as Montrex record. So under Montrex record, India initially had 3 entries: Keoladeo National Park of Rajasthan, it is also a bird sanctuary, Loktak Lake of Manipur, and Chilika Lake from Odisha. Then Chilika Lake has now been removed from it in 2002 because it has been significantly conserved. So as of now, under the Montrex record, we have 2 entries. One is the Keoladeo National Park and Manipur Lake in Loktak Lake in Manipur. Okay, highest number of Ramsar sites is in Tamil Nadu as of now, followed by Uttar Pradesh. अब इंडिया में total Ramsar sites 98 हो गए. ठीक है, largest Ramsar site is Sundarbans, West Bengal. Smallest is Renuka Lake in Himachal Pradesh. ठीक है, चलो. Then coming to art and culture, there are 2 important things that you have to keep in mind. The first one is Somnath Swabhiman Parv. Okay, the Prime Minister launched the Somnath Swabhiman Parv to commemorate 1000 years of the first destruction of the Somnath temple, or the first loot of the Somnath temple that was undertaken by Muhammad Ghazni in 1026 AD. ठीक है, the Somnath temple is considered as the first among the 12 Jyotirlings of Lord Shiva. It is located in Gujarat. ये याद रखना है. बाकी all this just you for reading, don't have to get into the details of it. ये mythological significance है that it was first constructed in gold by the moon god Somraj, then in silver by Ravan, and later by in wood by Lord Krishna. Reconstruction was undertaken by Bhim Dev I after Mahmud of Ghazni's attack. Then subsequently in 1783 the last renovation did take place. Architectural style में बस याद रखना है that it follows a Maru Gujjar style. ठीक है? Then Makar Sankranti, only because Makar Sankranti has different names elsewhere. Makar Sankranti is one festival which follows the solar cycle and not lunar cycle. Mostly जितने भी festivals हमारे इंडिया में होते हैं, all of them follow the moon's cycles and not the sun cycle. But Makar Sankranti is one festival which follows the sun cycle. What is the sun cycle? That the sun starts its northward journey from the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay? So it marks the sun's changing directions and shifting its trajectory towards the north, therefore entering the Makar or Capricorn zodiac sign. ठीक है? Marks a change of season, northward journey of sun, इसीलिए इसको उत्तरायण भी कहते हैं. This is one festival which follows the solar cycle. It is also known as, ये important है, याद रखना जरूरी है. Posh Parborn in Bengal, Pongal in Tamil Nadu, Uttarayan in Gujarat, Bogali Bihu in Assam, Lodi in Punjab and Jammu, Makar Sankrama in Karnataka, Shayankrat in Kashmir, and Khichdi in parts of Bihar, Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Then Granth Kutir. The President of India has inaugurated the Granth Kutir, which is a collection of Indian manuscripts in 11 classical languages of India. Tamil, Sanskrit, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, Odia, Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, Assamese and Bengali. Aim is just to raise awareness amongst the citizens regarding the rich cultural and literary heritage of India. Okay. And this particular Granth Kutir is going to support the government's vision of Gyan Bharatam mission, which was launched last year in 2024, and it will be extended till 2021. Okay. Then we have a very small, simple index. It is India which has launched this index, known as Responsible Nation Index, developed by World Intellectual Foundation with JNU and IIM Bombay. It has evaluated 154 countries, has 58 indicators. Rank 1 is Singapore, 2 Switzerland, 3rd in Denmark, and India is 16. Okay, India nahi banaya hai, India nahi khud ko rakha. Okay, then coming to awards quickly. The Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development, it has been given to Graça Machel of Mozambique, and this particular award instituted in 1985, and it is not given by the central government, but it is given by the Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust. It is awarded annually and it has an award price of 1 crore or 10 million rupees. All right. Then coming to the Padma Awards. The Padma Awards were announced on the Republic Day. Now, the Padma Awards, like the Bharat Ratna, were instituted in 1954. Bharat Ratna is the highest civilian honor of the country, followed by the 3 Padma Awards: Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Shri. All these awards have been awarded since 1953. There were only, and every year on Republic Day, there have been only twice when these awards have not been given, from 1978 to 79 and 1993 to 1997. In 2026, a total of 131 Padma Awards were given, 5 Padma Vibhushans, 13 Padma Bhushans, and 113 Padma Shris, of which you only need to remember the 5 Padma Vibhushans. बाकी केवल number याद रखें, ठीक है? So these are the 5 Padma Vibhushan awardees. Dharmendra Singh Deol for art category, and this has been given posthumously, matlab after he is passed away. Shri K.T. Thomas for public affairs from Kerala. Miss N. Rajam for art, Uttar Pradesh. Shri P. Narayan, literature and education, and Shri V.S. Achyutanandan. This is also posthumously. So 2 awards have been given posthumously and 3 to living people. Okay, so these are the highest civilian awards given along with Bharat Ratna, instituted in 1954, given in these various disciples. The awards given do not amount to any title under Article 18 of the Constitution, which prohibits title taking. You can only have academic titles like doctors and military titles, no other titles. Normally, the awards are not conferred posthumously, but if it is a very well-deserving case, then it can be extended. Okay. Then coming to the gallantry awards, why is it important? Because the Ashok Chakra has been awarded to Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla. So he has various prefixes: Group Captain, Astronaut, Vyomnaut, Gaganaut. He's the first Indian to go to the International Space Station and the second Indian in space. First Indian was Rakesh Sharma. He is the second one. And because he was the first Indian to go to the International Space Station through the Axiom 4 mission, he has been awarded the Ashok Chakra. Okay. First Indian in space was Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma in 1984. India's Peacetime Gallantry Awards, Ashok Chakra is the highest, followed by Kirti Chakra, followed by Shaurya Chakra. India's Wartime Gallantry Awards, Paramveer Chakra highest है, Mahavir Chakra है, फिर Veer Chakra है. Okay. Gallantry Awards established in 1950. Peacetime Awards 1952. The Peacetime Awards were renamed as Ashok Chakra, Kirti and Shaurya Chakra in 1967. It is awarded by the president like every other award. Okay. Selection by Ministry of Defense, who undertakes recommendations from the armed forces and Union Ministry of Home Affairs for every twice in a year. Okay. All right. Then coming to the last bit for today, these are all one-liners that you have to keep in mind. Nothing in detail about it. So Suryastra, just keep in mind that it is India's first indigenously universal multi-caliber long-range rocket that India is developing along with Israel. ठीक है, बस इतना याद रखना है और कुछ नहीं याद रखना है इसमें. Then second is Operation Pavan. So in 1987, India sent peacekeeping forces to Sri Lanka to combat or to undertake to do against the entire protest that was taking place in Sri Lanka against against discriminatory policies at the governmental level for the Tamils, etc. So India did send Indian peacekeeping forces under Operation Pavan. तो उसको commemorate किया गया है इस साल. So just remember क्या था Operation Pavan. इसके अलावा it is not important. Then this particular missile is very very important. अभी test हुआ है. It has not been inducted, but just keep the full form in mind. So long range anti-ship hypersonic missile. This was displayed by DRDO on the 77th Republic Day parade. It is important. It is India's first long range hypersonic glide missile. Okay. और एंटी शिप है, मतलब शिप को डिस्ट्रॉय करने के लिए है. इट इज क्वासी बैलिस्टिक इन नेचर, मतलब ऊपर से जाएगी ऐसे होकर हाइपरबोल बनाएगी एंड देन इट विल ग्लाइड अलोंग द अर्थ सरफेस and it can keep on shifting or maneuvering as per the shifting of the targets. All right. So that was all for today's current affairs. And I know it was a little long session, but this is how we go about covering the current affairs. Thank you, everybody.